What is up, creators, entrepreneurs, my people, Glad Gang? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Glad that you're having a fantabulous week. And if you weren't having a fantabulous week, it starts now. You're welcome. I've initiated that for you. I'm glad I could be of assistance. So we are here this week talking about a lot of updates that are happening in the space, a lot of camera stuff that are happening in the space, because a lot of you all getting messages, more DMs, more emails about people asking more about switching from Canon to Sony or from another brand to Sony for this new ZV-E10 release, and a lot of other things and such. And if you have any questions in regards to your channel, getting started on YouTube and things like that, this is the Helpcast, and that's what this show is designed to do, is to help you get through the things that you need on this live stream. So let's hop over into the chat. Let's say hello to our people that are here. So let's see here. We have Mr. Camera Junkie in the building. Good to see you, brother. Glad that you are here. We have Carmen. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. And you're saying that you're listening while driving to Jersey. Will drive safely for sure. Tawana Harris in the building saying good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Paul Duncan in the house from California. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. And Ready, Set, Autism family in the building. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying, hey, Diana, hair is very nice. Why, thank you. We do try a Caucasian. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted it up and out of the face. So I appreciate my long hair now that I have, you know what I'm saying, a little hang time out in the building. Just, you know, flossing and dossing, if I do say so myself. No, just kidding. But no, I'm very pleased with the growth experience over these. It really feels like a really short amount of time. So if anyone get into the natural hair gang, doing the big chop and stuff like that, it's a better experience on the other side. At least that has been my experience and everybody else's. So, but kudos to you. You know, whatever you fried, dyed, laid to the side. If you're getting relaxers, do what you do, but watch my shoes, okay? It's somewhere written in a good book somewhere. It's an amazing week. Thanks, Dana. Always a pleasure, my brother. Always a pleasure. Joshua Verers, the JoshuaVerersOfficial.com in the building. Good to see you. Saying, hi, Diana, how are you? I'm doing very well, Tammy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here and you also asking. I'm doing good. Today's a great day to have a great day and everyone having a good time. Alrighty. So this week, if you all are not familiar, if you don't follow my other channel, along with my two business partners, which is Doc Rock, as well as David Blackman, we have a company called Let's Get Live. And on that channel, we talk about industry news. We have a show, a weekly live stream that we do every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. at some other time, and 2 p.m. at another time. So figure out where you fall in. It's like, I'm sick of the time zone stuff. Can we just all agree on one? Just sick of it. So 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, but it is 10 a.m. Pacific, 12, what is it, Eastern? I think it is Eastern Standard Time, whatever. So we were talking about some of the things, so I want to make sure that I bring that conversation up here, because I do think that it's extremely important, as well as some updates that are coming through when it comes to YouTube. I didn't think I really wanted to dive into this a ton today, but I actually do want to cover this. So if you're getting started into YouTube for your business, if you're trying to figure out your lane or it's something that you're passionate about, it is very important that you subscribe to understanding how that platform works. If you are posting to a platform, but you're not engaging with that platform, you've lost already, because posting and disappearing never works. You can't post a video to YouTube, disappear until the next time it's time for you to post. You can't go to TikTok and do that. You can't go to Instagram and do that. You can't go to anywhere and do that. You have to be, if you're posting, you need to be engaging. So when you think about where your core audience is, because one of the messages that I got, I actually, it'll come around full circle and this will be helpful. So I got a message, and I'm not going to disclose who sent it. I haven't even responded to it yet, but maybe I'll clip this part and send it over. So I got a question saying, love the page. This is coming from Instagram, saying, thank you for getting the info that the creators need. Co-host a weekly podcast, and the viewers are less than 10 each week. And they've been told that they talk too much by people like family and friends, and they lose interest. Saying they have a topic that they talk about, and they just talk without actually having, I guess, maybe more or less a structured show. And they try to do two different types of things. But at the end of the day, it's just like asking, are we trash? And what should we do? And a link to the show. Fortunately, I don't have time to go through and actually watch everything that everybody sends, or hardly anything of what anybody sends. It just isn't the time. I don't have time for that. This is what this show is for. So I'm taking this moment to do this. So first and foremost, your core audience is never going to be your family and friends. Never. They should not even be your first subscribers. They should not be first to sign up to your email list. They should not be the first people to follow you on anything. You want organic people that are connecting with you. You say, well, I just figured, well, maybe if I get them as the first 100, people will see that somebody's watching or somebody's subscribing, and then it'll look better. No, that's just for you, usually at that point. I never asked my mom, my cousin, no, if they watch, it's of their own accord because they decided to, or they said, oh, I'm going to follow you. And I would say, you don't have to. And I sincerely meant that. It's like, you don't have to, but you can if you want to. And if you want to actually watch or engage. And God bless my one cousin, because she'd be like, I be watching your stuff. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I don't know what you're talking about, but I love it. It's like, okay. So the thing and reason why your family and your friends are not your core audience. They are not going to engage with, and sometimes they may have an interest, but it's kind of one of those things where they're too close to be honoring and even respectful, truly, to even take advice of what it is that you would be offering. Their pain point is not great enough to where you are an authoritative enough figure in their space. I don't care who it is or where you go. It's the same just across any boards. And those that do, it's very far and few and in between. So you should not be critiquing your show and the what you do and the how you do certain things based on other people's opinions, especially your family and friends. When you are designing your show should be structured around specifically your people. Who is your core target audience? Who are you trying to reach and who are you trying to connect with? And I'm saying all of this because a lot of times, even for those of you that may be in the chat or if you're watching on the replay, those are some of the first people that you watch and you say, well, what do you think? It doesn't matter what they think. You need to be thinking about the pain points and the interest points of your audience. Who are you trying to connect with? Who are you trying to reach? What do they have a problem with? If I am only going to talk about, let's say, knitting, and I'm teaching you how to make these, I don't know, these throws that you throw on the back of the sofa or whatever, but I'm teaching you how to, I think crochet is the better terminology. But if I'm teaching you how to crochet, and I'm teaching all of these different techniques or whatever, I have to understand that your end result goal, your end result want is to be able to make beautiful pieces of things that you can either give away, sell, or for yourself. But you ultimately are looking to know how to do this primary thing. If I ask a family and friend the specifics on the show like that, for example, they don't care about the different techniques or this one method is what you probably are used to, or maybe you learn this in home ec, but I'm going to teach you a better method that's faster and it will allow it to stay together without coming unraveled at the end. To the right person, to the ideal core and target audience, that is exactly what they want. They're excited about that because it alleviates a pain point, because stuff like that is time consuming. But if they realize that all of a sudden that something else can be done about that and it saves them, let me know. Tell me, please. I'm excited about it. To somebody that has zero interest in it, never even buys that kind of a stuff, never would own that kind of stuff in their home, they do not care. So when you adjust it for those that don't care, you're always going to fall flat in regards to those kinds of things. And it doesn't matter. Also, the other thing touched on, like the size of the audience. The size of your audience doesn't matter because everybody's always in a constant state of growing. And the only thing that you need to be critiquing is your content and how well it delivers on what you said it was going to do. So if I said I'm making a video and I'm talking about this memory card and I want to show you why this is the best memory card for video for X, Y, and Z camera, but somehow in the conversation I get to talking about this water bottle and why I like this raw water bottle for when I'm doing stuff and blah, blah, blah. Like, what? The two don't have anything to do with each other. Like, why are you, like, I didn't come here for that. So you start veering off. And the other thing when it comes to interest points in the video, there's a video that I meant to record this the other day, but I'll try to get it out by maybe next week or so, maybe next 2 weeks. But it's like, well, I don't use a teleprompter, but how you can get teleprompter like results without needing one. To the right audience, that's of interest. To the right people, that's of interest. I believe that's something of interest to the audience, because that's a question I've gotten quite a few times. Now, I use no teleprompter, never have, never will. I would have to be doing something that requires me to have to use a teleprompter. And even when asking, when I was getting ready to go out and do the shoot in San Diego for Social Media Examiner, I asked, like, do you use a teleprompter? So like they could prepare. I'm like, no, is it required? And I'm like, because if it is, I can tell you right now, you don't want to use that with me, because I don't need one. Not like I'm so great per se, but I know my material, and same with you all, you know your stuff. There's a different and a better way that you can record content so that you don't have to and still get teleprompter-like results. The teleprompter makes you have to read, and I would have to sit there and be like, so today we're going to, first of all, hope the glasses is clear. Today we're going to look at how to, what? Okay, wait, it's going too fast. Hold on, slow down. Okay, wait. Okay, here we go. Today we're going to take a look at how to, okay, so today we're going to take a look at how to do, but it's okay. Like, if you're not familiar with it, you're not going to be familiar with it. And even if, like, I'm just doing, like, you know, those slight micro adjustments of your eyes that you're reading and you're kind of like going, like, that stuff that you have to practice to the point that you're able to perform and do it normally and maintain pacing. And then you still will have times where you need to do it. It's not impossible. It's just a skill that has to be developed. So if you're starting out in video and you're starting everything new and you throw in a teleprompter, you're just adding an additional curve, and too many learning curves equal a circle. So you're just spinning your wheels at that point. So, you know, there are different things when it comes to stuff like that. Ultimately, that would be, you know, like, I think overall for most of you, like, my advice when it comes to even like a similar question in regards to that, because it gets to be a bit ridiculous with the things that you think that you need, or the, you know, it's like you can't pay it. Some things you need to learn. You need to learn what to pay attention to, and you need to learn what to ignore. And a lot of times the early things early on in your creative space, even as an entrepreneur, you are skilled in your space, but in this area of video and content creation, you become or are unskilled. And so you need to learn to develop the skills. And there are some things about presentation. You know, a good presentation, or like as far as a video, when you watch one, you know one that sucks because it doesn't keep your interest, and you hit the back button quick. Or you're just like, even the information could be right. You're just like, I don't like them. It's like, it's like, man, that's boring. But you assume that you're boring. But the thing is, like, the one tip that I will give you all when you're on, like, you're doing stuff like this, where you are energy wise, speaking wise, inflection wise, when you are talking in person is very unacceptable on camera in a video, because it used to be the saying, like, the camera adds 10 pounds. The camera don't add 10 pounds, but it sure does zap about 25% of your energy, somewhere thereabout. So if I just sit here and I talk, like how sometimes if I was just talking, like, if, you know, it's in a conversation or whatever, and it's just like, okay, yeah, so I was thinking about going to, you know, maybe getting some Subway, and then, like, I saw that somebody was saying something about Jimmy John's, and then it's like this other place that I was thinking about trying. It was like, but I'm not sure. But all I do know is, like, you know, the baked lays, they're all right, you know. But that's normal, maybe in how you talk to a person, like, and you don't think nothing about it. But you don't get all of those same things translated exactly the same when you're on camera. So you don't have to be boring. You don't have to feel, but you don't have to, and you don't have to be like as if you hit a line somewhere. And y'all know what I mean, like one of those lines, okay? You don't have to be super high octane, but you do need to add at least about a good 10-15% extra energy to, like, you know, as if you were exceptionally excited. So as an introverted individual, when I'm doing pieces like this, or I'm doing a live stream, I need to add extra energy just so that it conveys normal by the time you receive it. So you don't have to be boring per se because of what you're talking about. You assume that because you're judging yourself, but you can't judge yourself. Only your true audience can judge you. and they will tell you things that they may prefer that you change, or they may say, I really don't like when you're talking about numbers and you're trying to do the math portion of the focal length conversions, and you're talking about sensor sizes, and you're getting super technical, and there's background music. I don't like that. And you'll see a bunch of those like, yeah, or a bunch of thumbs ups, plusing the comment up. And that in that respect, then it's like, oh, that's something to change. But your family, friends, they ain't nobody to pay attention to in regards to that, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, in regards to that. So Mrs. Cameron Drunken laughed, saying flossing, saying, hey, did you hear about the Tamron 35-150 f2 to 2.8 for Sony is on its way? When it comes to lenses, I don't keep up with the lens rumors that much unless it's going to be something amazing, to be honest. And 35-150 ain't nothing I personally would use, honestly. So no, I have not. However, Tamron is doing a good job, but that's just like, there's nothing other than maybe 4 churches, which that's your space, 35-150 f2 2.8. That would be a great lens, to be honest with you. Sitting in the back of the church and you need to zoom in, you're panning, those lenses are exceptionally sharp and they do a great job. That's for a church use, or even conference use. If you are doing like small, like those would be a good lens. But it's like some brands, to be honest with you, once it drops, it's just like there's an assumption that it's good until I see otherwise, because Tamron, Sigma, they're just like known for doing an exceptionally good job with those. So if it comes out, kudos to them. I hope it's in like still that $700-800 price range where usually their stuff is. What's up, Dash Cam Disaster? Good to see you. This is a funny name. Saying welcome to the weekend, everyone. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Good to see you. DJ Cadillac, good to see you. Saying blessings. Good to see you. Good to see you. Saying aloha, Joshua. We talked about the Tammy on the stream yesterday. Doc wants it, obviously, just because. I totally agree. So I'm gonna go back and watch that. It looks amazing. Okay, y'all talking. What's up, James D Buzzard in the building? Good to see you. Ready Set Autism saying we have never promoted to family and friends. We actually didn't want them to know, but some just found out, and that's true. Like even like coworkers and stuff like that or whatever. Eventually they like, oh, you didn't know you had a YouTube channel, or whatever. It's like, okay, and it's like it didn't matter, because to people that we're not giving the vision, they cannot understand how you're supposed to execute it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you weren't given the vision for the what and the why I'm doing something, you won't understand the steps, or to the extent that I'm willing to go to for certain things when executing on that vision, because it wasn't given to you. And because of that, there's no reason for me even to share it with you, because I am not interested in your opinion, your thoughts, micro critiques, sly comments, or the rest that comes with it. There's a great lyric and a great song that when you are building a channel, I encourage you to listen to. That song starts off and it repeats consistently: run up, get done up. Meaning, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Amen and amen. And that's how I roll out here in these streets. It's such a good word, Diana. Audience, pain points, interest points, and focus. 100% agree. It starts to be detrimental to your creative space when you are adding other people's thoughts and confusions and ideas to what you're trying to do. And it's irrelevant what they believe or what they think, because most people aren't even trying to build their belief systems. You're asking people their input on something, and they're not even working on their belief system at all. May not even be consciously aware of the current status of their belief system or their thoughts or how they think or what their goals. Like for real, most people talk about goals and it's just talk. There's no actual execution and implementation. So if you set up a channel, put a freaking, even you came up with whatever the name was going to be, and you at least put a 30-second, said, this is my name, this is what I plan to do. I created an Instagram account for it. I did a 60-second. You are way further ahead than most people, because all they're going to do is think about it and talk about it with those same family and friends that should not be subscribing to you. So you're so real. Thanks for the great info. I have to go now, but thank you. You are most welcome. Have a fantabulous weekend. And we don't use a teleprompter record. Corey can't see, so we just old school and use the real. Real works. Real works. What's going on, Miss Finance? Good to see you. Too many learning curves equal a circle. That is a DG quotable. Saying deal on a camera. You got A6600 with 2 lenses for 2 G's. What's the 2 lenses? Even if it's let's say even if it's like a Sigma 16 and a 30, usually everybody has just about a Sigma 16. So you're looking at, actually price jumped on that recently. I mean, it's fine. It's, again, you're going to find good deals right now if you're looking for a camera. Is it really what you want? Truly. And are those lenses for the extra price? Is it going to make a difference? And I'm assuming all of that is used. So I won't be able to know if that's really a good deal, because 13 or 1350, somewhere thereabout. Let me see what the current price is for the Sony A6600. Is not a cheap camera, like in that regard. So actually it's more than what I thought. So $1398 for the A6600 is already by itself. So an extra lens thrown in there, maybe with the kit even. My question again becomes, what lenses are we getting for that? And what's the, so ultimately, what's the cost of the body? If it's used, what's the cost of the lenses, and what are we getting for that price before I can say for real if that's a good deal? Because that is, what I'm saying? Like, that, what is it, a A66 and like I said, in a kit and a Sigma 16? Is it the 18 to 135, 18? Like, what is it? And then, like, what's the value of those lenses actually being good for you? So that's live part of live stream. It's the same for recorded videos. You have to stay live. It makes a difference for the audience. It definitely does. And this lens for church use, live streaming. Yep, exactly what I was thinking. Yep, 100%. I agree. That lens would be great for that. As a amen, Miss Diana, and kapow is what I would imagine that was what that symbol stands for and or means. But it's like back to this A6600 deal that you're looking at for this, and even like, let's see here, this Sigma 16. It's because the price on this has fluctuated. So it's back down to normal because it was sitting heavy in the paint there for a minute. So $369 and was $1398 or whatever. And if it's a kit, then it's just like, no, because it's not really a deal. That's everything still practically new, more or less. If it's the 16 and the 30, cool, I guess. It's still not, what I'm saying? I'm not seeing any significant pricing differences like that. I don't know. That's as far as I'll go without additional info. Everyone, again, as Camera Junkie suggests, remember to hit that like button. Saying, all right, Miss D, I might regret this, but if we were talking, rambling during a live stream and losing focus, no direction, take the gloves off on the vlog. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. You have to understand what the content is. What is the focus of the content? And what are you trying to do with that piece of content? If it is a hangout, let's just chat, and that's what the live stream is about, then the audience will know that, and those that want to hang out and just chat will do that. If it's a dedicated topic and then it goes into rambling, then you are not honoring what you said, what that time was going to be used for. Well, anytime you're going live, or anytime that you're deciding to do a live stream, it's going to fit in a couple categories. Dedicated topic, dedicated points, and then you also have like another variation of that, but then you tack on like a Q&A, either dispersed somewhere thereabout, or a Q&A completely just like at the end, and that way you can completely segment that out as need be. It's a fully Q&A, questions as you all have questions, ask me kind of a deal. or like that AMA, you'll see that Ask Me Anything. Then at that point, they know that it's on them, because if not, then it's like, all right, we hit the last question, the stream is over. Like, all right, y'all be blessed. But you also have to think, like, what are you trying to do with your content as a whole? When I designed the Helpcast early last year, we was already doing like live streams and would talk about whatever different things, sometimes dedicated topics or what have you. But it wasn't like a for sure guaranteed every Friday live stream. The Friday Live Helpcast was birthed out of people having so many problems. I don't have time to answer them via email. I don't have time to answer them through, like, I'm like, you know what? We will do this on Friday, because these are all the same repetitive questions, more or less. And this gives me the ability to be able to say, hey, here's the clip, or hey, here's the link to the, the piece or timestamp, whatever. So in regards to the vlog pastors, which is part of the show, again, that is more, in my opinion, for that live stream, is something that is my experience. You had a show structure and format, and then it just went straight to the talking. So again, it can stay that way, but your audience has to say yes to that if they want to. It's up to you what you do, and then your audience is, going to decide to be yes. But you have to think, what is the value ultimately for that brand as a whole, and what are you trying to do? Because sometimes as a creator, you do want, desire, and need to have, just like, I'm not creating this like a job. I'm creating this in some levels, like it's some level of something, like I got to have some enjoyment about what I am doing. If I only covered like industry news type stuff, that bored the hell out of me. It just bored the hell out of me. This, I'm very excited about this, very passionate about this. But I also know I can't always 24/7, always talk about this or whatever. But that also is where other areas like the Let's Get live stream, or when I go on Social Media Examiner's channel and we cover YouTube industry specific news or whatever, guaranteed in 30 minutes, fantastic. Because I can say, here's where I covered this. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just think about your brand as a whole and what are you trying to do? Saying Sigma is the kit lens, a Sigma 14, no. Or Sigma 16, I'm reading the 1.4. No, that's actually, in my opinion, not like a great deal for that. So you're looking at what, $13.98, $369, and then like $100. So it's like, so $18.67 versus the minus the, what is it, $18.67, $133 discount. No. Because I'm saying $100 is like for the kit lens, like maybe used. Sometimes you find it for like $150. So no, it's actually not a great deal, in my opinion, because you could package that and buy that from like B&H or Adorama or KEH, freaking Facebook Marketplace. So to be honest with you, no, that's not a great deal for 2Gs. What's a good deal? Because I know one of the questions that comes in that gets asked. Matter of fact, let me do this real quick before I stray too far from my point from earlier, because I said I was going to cover it. So I want to make sure I at least talk about this a smidge of a second. You're going to see a lot of creator funds when it comes to YouTube and when it comes to Instagram. For those of you that are creating content, like I said, I'm going to cover this real quick and then we'll get back into Q&A. So put all your questions in the chat. If we don't see any questions, then we're just going to end the stream early. So you put your questions in the chat while I'm covering this section of this quick story for the updates of what's going on specifically. When it comes to Instagram, aka Facebook, aka Mark Zuckerberg, is trying to figure out how to get into this creator space. Facebook. I boomified myself. Spacebook. That will be funny. I'm thinking of something. Okay, skit in mind. Alrighty, so, don't laugh. All right, back to business. Focus. I'm losing it. Okay, when it comes to Instagram, what they're trying to do is get into the creator space. Instagram is a better playground than Facebook is when it comes to that respect, micro content and the like. Now, when you take a look at what Instagram is trying to do, they're introducing what is now known as their creator fund, in addition to YouTube, because YouTube is talking about dropping $100 million when it comes to, I don't even understand. like the how they're thinking this through, 100 million of them things to go out to creators. And this is in regards to specifically YouTube Shorts. So because of this, everybody is on their butt because TikTok is just killing it. TikTok is killing it. I need you all to understand your audience is on TikTok. However it is that you may be thinking about TikTok, more or less probably is incorrect. It would take me literally a whole stream to talk about that, but I'm not going to. You can check me out on Instagram. You'll see clips and stuff from a conversation and talk and things like that. And we will probably do a dedicated live stream where we do cover TikTok video. But yeah, TikTok is they're releasing also where they're talking about doing stories. They're beta testing that now. And so you will see a lot of these creator funds start to come up because they're trying to find a way to attract you. Right now, you are the asset. They understand that user-generated content is what's driving these platforms. And so if you're creating micro content, you need to be putting it in these different respects. And there are ways for you to make money. And then also Instagram released their whole spiel about how their algorithm works. I'll drop this in the chat for you all to get access to this so that you can go and check this out for yourself. Even if you don't follow the Instagram creators page, be sure to do so. They will let you know. And even when they do a story update or something that's like specific to the app, it gets pushed to the front. Like they skip all your favorite people that you watch so that you know that it's happening. But they released exactly how the algorithm works. And I want to cover this very, very briefly so that you all are aware, at least on this. And maybe, again, like I said, we'll do a dedicated something with TikTok video so that you all can be scheduled. Maybe we'll do that maybe next Friday. Let me check the calendar real quick. Make sure I have capacity for that. I do. Okay. So next Friday, we'll cover TikTok video as a whole. We'll do that. All right. So here's how the Instagram algorithm works when it comes to Instagram Reels, because this is what is hitting right now. You watch the reel all the way through. Reels now can be up to 60 seconds in length. You need to like it. That shows engagement and it triggers involvement with the post. Replying, saying that it was funny or entertaining, you left some kind of relevant comment or whatever, not, hey, follow me for, no. You actually engage with it or whatever. Even emojis count. You go to the audio page and you make it your own using that reel, which means this is where, when it comes to the hierarchy of engagement, I've taught on the hierarchy of engagement scale when it comes to YouTube. And now we have what the hierarchy of engagement scale is for Instagram Reels specifically, which is very similar to the hierarchy of engagement scale for posting already. The watch time and the retention, not the views. The watch time, because you're sitting there and you're watching it. So for IGTV, for example, it will be that you click through to continue. So you liked it. That's your first layer of engagement, because yes, we stopped the scroll. We did the job with whatever the hook or the interest point, title or whatever, maybe, something like that. The liking, it moved you enough to an emotion to engage with this post. That next layer deep is a comment, which is this is all very respective. More or less that hierarchy of engagement scale is true for just about any of these social platforms I'm finding. So I'm glad that that's a thing. Saying that it was funny or entertaining, you move them to leave a comment. And then you also, now this is a whole other layer deep, because this isn't sharing as it would be, for example, on YouTube, which would be that hierarchy point, but you're looking at now making this reel your own by using the audio. So if you all are familiar with that LeBron James clip, then it says like, he's like, oh Lord. And then it's like the old school track. I can't remember who it's originally by. Okay, well, if you grew up more or less, especially like black families, we all heard that song growing up, riding in a Cadillac, Chevy, something right there, deuce and a quarter, whatever it was. You grew up listening to that song and a lot of other old school songs. So that track is familiar to us. Okay, well, now that's a reel, like that's a thing. So you can take that sound and use it. So thinking about something that is not just like, so for example, the skits that I do, or whatever, talking about cameras, having a good time. Technically, somebody could take that audio and recreate that in a better way. If you're an artist, you could completely redraw that and take that and do it in a different way on TikTok. And I have to see if I can find this real quick, because on TikTok, it's a fantastic way that people do this. So if you're a comedian, if there's something funny that you say, people can actually take and rip that audio and reuse it. So when I'm seeing comedians leverage this, it literally doesn't matter what medium you're in. You could be a pastor and you're telling a funny story. Somebody that's an artist, you now can take that story that you thought was funny or that you can recreate and turn it into something where they're now taking it and reenacting that. So they're acting it out just with their phone or whatever, or they're drawing it and making that into a thing. So you've moved it to that next layer deep by using that audio, just like they're never going to know. They're going to know. No, they're never going to know. How would they know? Kind of a deal. I've seen people use this in emails to like say that they use a template and you should buy their thing. I've seen people use this with, I don't know, preset packs. Like they're never going to know. They'll think maybe you've graded this step by step instead of maybe just throwing a LUT pack, go buy my LUT pack. If you are a writer, you may say a strategy that you used out of your book. It worked. And you say, they're never going to know. They're going to know. They're not going to know. Like, for example, I could literally do that with Ray's book. I might as well just make a one, something for this to sit. I could say this, take the pastor framework, say that something that I used it from and show it and be like, they're never going to know. They're going to know. They're never going to know. And then see something. Then it's like the video blows up, whatever, kind of a deal where I've used that on things and it worked. How would they know? So now transitioning this into a song, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a TikTok video because I consume quite a bit of TikTok videos. But let's see here. I'm just scrolling through my TikTok views. And so let's go over here. So oh, freaking, you know why I almost hit the play button on this? This is why YouTube sucks right now. I can't, because you know why? For me to play this, it's going to be a copyright strike and I'm not trying to get the stream demonetized. So freaking A, YouTube. And this is why YouTube Shorts also sucks in that regards, because I also can't show one of those, even though it's their platform. So y'all have to just find one, trust me, in this example. So unfortunately, I can't show it on the stream, maybe in a dedicated video or something, or just the TikTok stream we won't accept maybe monetization for that one. And then we'll just do through buy me a coffee. That way I can just not have to deal with this. But that's the thing. So back to the point, like I said, when it comes to the Instagram algorithm and understanding how this works, using that and making it into something that's your own, even like sometimes you'll see me do what's called the remix. And it'll be me just looking. I haven't said a freaking word, but I'm taking the video and I'm remixing that. Or I could take the audio and act that out or something and make it relevant to the video space or whatever. So start thinking outside the box when it comes to your content and the how you are doing what you are doing for your stuff. It's a very simple thing, but ultimately this boils down to, again, like I said, being on the platform and actually engaging with the platform, period. Like literally engaging. I'll make my videos, for example, let me pull one up. And oh, daggone it. I was finna use again. This is why this sucks. YouTube's gonna have to change this because I was finna bring in a video that I did, and it's a bare bones video. Okay. This is gonna go out to the Ecamm network account because we're working together on some stuff. And so this will be an Instagram reel. It's using a trending sound. It's already edited together, but there's no text on it. And because of that, it's that we use that oh Lord kind of a thing. It's bare because when you're engaging with the application, that's also triggering, like we're using it for that. So no, I didn't record it because I wanted to do it myself because I know it's just faster than me trying to do it in the phone personally. But when I take the text, I'm adding the text in there specifically. I can go to, I think maybe this one video that I just uploaded that I will bring it over to YouTube so you'll see it on the channel as well. But this is my video and there's no audio, so this should be fine. But this will be a good example. So this video, I'm gonna leave the audio off. This video, I'm doing like a just quick piece to camera or whatever. And so this, like part of the fluffy crew, part of the lean crew, whatever text that's coming on screen, yeah, it takes me a millisecond to add that in editing in Final Cut Pro 10, but I'm not going to do that. So all I did was the bare bones video. There's no music. And when I add music, it's going to be in the app. So either it's going to be a trending sound, or it's going to be a title, or it's going to be whatever the specific thing. We're doing that part in the specific application. So when I post this video and I'm doing this as a YouTube short, this video is going to use the text from YouTube Shorts, and it's going to use audio maybe from YouTube Shorts, maybe, because I still don't trust YouTube with the copyright issue stuff or whatever yet. I don't know how they're dealing with that, but I just don't trust to do it. And it's like, oh, demonetization on this video or whatever. I don't know. I just don't trust them on it. But we're going to do that in the app. Yes. Is it extra work? Yeah. Guess what? You're not getting away from work. You're not getting away from some level of work when it comes to this stuff. So you can get that out your mind. And if you just don't want to do it, then just clock out. Just go and sign off. So this is how, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my bad. And then heart and engage right there. But yeah, it's like, so I uploaded this like last night and I went to sleep. So I'm gonna come back in, I'm gonna engage with it. I'm come in and see what comments I have. Instead of answering something in a question on TikTok, I can answer that in a video. So all I gotta do is pull out my phone. Somebody asks, what's your YouTube channel? YouTube.com/Diana Gladney. Put the phone back down or whatever. So you gotta think about everything that you're doing becoming content. Everything. A lot of times when it comes to the other sounds and stuff that we use, like on these different videos or whatever, I'm not adding the music. Sometimes I am. Like if it's coming from the regular video, then I'm just like, just leave the regular music there. I like that vibe or whatever. Or sometimes I may say, I want this specific song that we already have and put this in the track. Then we'll use that one. But most of the time now, it's a bare bones video, and the music and the text or whatever sometimes gets added over on that relative and respective application. And so to bring it all home, like I said, before I get to the comments, be sure to ask your questions, because once I'm through with the chat, we're done. So if the stream ends early, it just ends early. So yeah, cover that real quick. So there you go. Sergio, good to see you. Saying I love your channel, and thank you so much. Appreciate that. Saying good morning, JP, the aspiring matriarch. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying keep pushing forward, warrior. I need to make bigger moves on TikTok. Just start making little ones. Start making the little ones. Start making them. Saying you hit them with a nice stand. Yeah, that's the one thing. So basically, if I go over to Instagram, it's the last part. So thank you for reminding me, because I wanted to show you, like I said, right now the attention is focused on creators, getting the creators to the platform. If they can't do that, they can't get content that people want to watch and engage with and keep people on the application. So I can play this because these are all my own original sounds per se. It's like protected and royalty free stuff. So I can play this. So I'll pause the beats here for a bit. So on Instagram, if you didn't see, and you haven't been following me on Instagram, maybe you didn't see this yet. However, on my reels, and this is just to show you, I showed this on the Buy Me a Coffee, so y'all got, you know, some insights into this yesterday, but she's talking about this video here. This is the one I uploaded while I was on the live stream on our Let's Get Live channel. I did that over there. When I was middle of the live stream, I'm like, oh, it's time to post, because I'll get notifications. It's like time to post. I don't care what I'm doing, just about. I'm posting my gosh darn videos, unless I'm asleep. So I'm like, it's time to post this one. And you can clearly see the play rate right here, 9,212. When I sent the post to Buy Me a Coffee, for those of you that are members, in the members area, you saw a post, it was like at 8,000. And that was at 9,000. If you have content, you need to think about the lifespan of your content. Meaning y'all post one time and we never see that post again. So for the people that weren't following me last year in 2020, and you just found me this year, this month, whatever, let's scroll back forward. And boom, same post, but it's a year old now. And at that time, it got 814 views, which was pretty good when Reels came out. 814 at that time. And some of them did really well. A lot of people like the vlog therapist, so I got some other stuff for her to do. She been on vacation, so we didn't pull her out of vacation. But it also is like, I got to get the ideas for it too. So the vlog therapist, she's going to have a meeting that you all see will come to the accounts as well. And so those do really well. And this was like a different creative skit I just had in mind. I'm like, I can do it. I'm going to do it. 814 at the time, as far as the plays and stuff like that. And it gives you insights into the reach. Scroll back up to now they're instituting the creator fund. They're trying to be more attractive to creators, and they're paying creators. Even like if you do for some accounts, you can do a live stream for 15 minutes, 20, 30, upwards up to an hour, and they're paying you anywhere from like $200 to $500. So I re-upload that one because we already had it scheduled. This is before Instagram was figuring out what the hell they wanted to do. We already had it scheduled that's what we were going to do. And now we're looking at this that is getting close to 10, and it's steady trending upwards, and it's getting engagement. And the people that saw it last year, for those of you like, what about that people saw it? We don't follow you enough, or like we not on your lap. I'll make this family friendly. We're not on your lap enough to like be so focused of every little thing that you post. Cause I know I'm drowning some of y'all with the amount of content that we're posting. You probably can't keep up with it, and you probably don't see all of it. And when you do come back around to see this, like was posted 2 hours ago, but you're just now seeing it. So you have to stop thinking that everybody that's following you sees every single moment when you post. They have a life, and it don't involve you. So be okay with cycling your content. So when we play this, I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. Make sure the audio's on. The light stand? Yeah. You said we'd format his memory card. Yeah, look, the cops are here. You didn't see anything, okay? His eye was broke. I mean, I did a little bit. I just couldn't focus. No, look, you didn't see anything. I mean, sometimes I could see some stuff, but other times I couldn't. We're gonna get arrested. You hit him with a light stand? Yeah. You said we'd format his memory card. Yeah, look, the cops are here. You didn't see anything, okay? I'll let it play. His eye was broke. I mean, I did a little bit. I just couldn't focus. No, look, you didn't see anything. I mean, sometimes I could see some stuff, but other times I couldn't. We're gonna get arrested. Okay, so I'll pause that one. Playing on things that people know to be true. If you're in the camera space, you're a camera nerd. You know Panasonic can't focus. A7S3 came out. I'm like, what if we put these inanimate objects into human bodies? And I don't know, they do what humans do, which is violence. And they take a light stand, which is relevant to the space, and they bop them across the head. They like, we gonna take them out. Because at the time, Panasonic, the GH5, you hit him with a light stand? Yeah. This other camera, the Panasonic S5, are good cameras that are full frame, and everybody's like, oh, it has all these great video features. I'm playing on the things that are happening in my space, and like everybody's like, these are competing, or these or whatever. If I was an Olympic athlete, I'd be like doing triathlons and all this extra other stuff, but camera names overhead. I just use your skills and stuff to your benefit. I was in the drama club. I'm a thespian. I'm not gonna say like I'm an actress or nothing, but I've had a little experience doing some stuff, enough to pull off one of these. So I'm like, I could do one of these. I could do that or whatever. And I get told I'm funny all the time anyway. So I'm like, I could pull this off. I could do this. So that's all the skits are. It's just me playing around. Stuff I would do with my nieces and nephews, but I just put it on tape, put it on film, put it on, pull up the camera. Put it in vertical mode. So those that were asking, can the Sony cameras do vertical? Yeah, you turn it sideways. So that's all, so think of outside the box. Playing on ideas sometimes and stuff that I see. I got a lot of ideas from TikTok where it's this Family Guy skit. We posted that to Instagram. I can't play it on Ecamm Network because I'm like, now that was the hardest one that I've done. And again, this may be out of the box for some of y'all, but you have children. Let's go to, and shout out to freaking, golly, Owen Hemstath. Owen Video, shout out to Owen. If you are the praying kind of people, say a prayer for Owen. He's been fighting for his life for a while, and it's going to be a stream tomorrow on Daryl Eve's channel doing like a fundraiser and all this extra other kind of stuff. Owen's been a great person, a great person, and we praying for you, Owen. We love you. So, but I'm going to go to where it's like, now again, playing on things that are specific to your space. And I'm trying to think, I know he had one in here for his kids. So golly, he don't have all of them in here, but we'll click on one of them. Hopefully there's no audio issues. God, hold on. Almost got me, Owen. So now you know what the song is at least. So we're going to pause for the cause. So imagine like, you know, you got the things like work on YouTube channel, and it's simple, very simple. Trending town, because Mario Kart, Nintendo stuff from when we were kids, into the thick of it. Oop, all that stuff from the backyardigans, stuff from when we was, you know, not when we were kids, but I know for my nieces and nephews or whatever. Just simple. So you can take that idea and I can put cameras, like deciding which one, put up a couple things. So just think outside the box. Owen's done some cool stuff. I know he has one with his family or whatever, and sometimes he shares that on his stories. But it was one where his son, he includes his kids, him and his wife and stuff, and they were carving pumpkins. And they're carving pumpkins, and like it's the funniest little thing. I would have to show it for you to see it, but I just don't know where to find it. So it's not in his regular reels. But it's him and his family, they have one. And it's hilarious. But they leverage their children because their kids want to be involved. So that's something that they can do. So sometimes being a creator is you being too stiff-necked and you've lost your ability to play. And if you've lost your ability to play, all of this creator stuff is going to be harder for you because you've been too stiff-necked for so long. You listened to people that told you that you need to grow up. And to some extent, you didn't need to. In that, you know what I'm saying? Like you was gonna grow up anyway. The bills, you still was gonna have to pay bills anyway. And a maturation process didn't have anything to do with your ability to play and be jovial. So some of y'all just need to re-embrace that. Thankfully, I have a butt ton of nieces and nephews that allow me to stay in a state of play consistently. Or even when I am being too stuck up, they come and hit me in the leg, or, you know, hit you behind the knee and your leg falls down and you go chase after them. And it's like, so you reenact that ability to play. So some of y'all adults doing this for your business or whatever, you can't make reels and stuff like that in that way. I ain't doing the pointing, the dance and all this. I ain't doing all that. I will do a skit or whatever, but I will do regular videos. I ain't doing no dancing and the pointing and all that. I ain't doing all that. You can point if you want to do that or whatever. I don't do that. It's not me. Ain't doing the dancing, ain't shimmying about like Suge Avery out here in these streets. It's not my jam. So find something that works for you, that, you know, jogs those creative muscles for you and makes you excited or fun or gives you an idea and execute. You know, but some of y'all have lost y'all ability to play listening to somebody else, and you may have a goofy idea and you say, it'll never work. And y'all love the hell out of them silly little skits that I do that take me 15 seconds to do. Like 15, honestly, it takes like 15 minutes or whatever, because I'll get the idea and I'm like, okay, they can say that. And then they say that, cut it together. You can do that in the app even. You don't have to do Final Cut Pro. It's just easier for me personally. But you could do that in iMovie. Go grab some, I'm like, I could take, everybody has those lights now, RGB lights. The one I got was by Andy Cine. Matter of fact, let me do a quick case study here so I can do the breakdown, because some of y'all think too much. You making it more difficult than it actually is. So let's go back to the one that's doing well right now that Kombucha was like, everybody's getting a kick out of the violence. So let's go to this one. All right, no audio right now, but you can see the police lights. I don't need to time those to make them fit. It's just going to flash the red, green, whatever, red, green, blue, whatever, constantly. Or is it even green? It's just red and blue. It's just blue, red and blue. So all I got to do is flash that, turn the lights off, and just let that thing go. So it's not like it's perfectly timed or nothing. It's just because police lights are erratic anyway. So it's just giving you the idea that the police are here. But if I didn't add in, like listen to, I wish I still had the original edit for this. You didn't see anything, okay? His eye was broke. I mean, I did a little bit. I just couldn't focus. No, look, you didn't see anything. I mean, sometimes I can see some. So the music, dum, 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 doo, 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 doo. It's just quirky music. And I'll go to Epidemic Sound. I also use Upbeat now. I use Story Blocks. And I'll think like, it'll be cool. Like in a movie, it's like you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of, or whatever. I'm from band or whatever. Like I'm a musician. So I'm like, it'd be cool if I had like one of those where it's not like a full cinematic track. Like it sounds like the beginning of In a World Where Only 3 Men Survive. Like not one of those things. It's just like kind of quirky. I'll go listen until I feel like I've heard something that kind of works. So if I had to do this again, and I go to Epidemic Sound, if I had to recreate this again and there was no audio and I needed to refigure this out, I'm going to go to genres and maybe like the mood. And I think they have one in here that's just like quirky. And so I'm just going to listen to like, it's hella loud. And like, no. Skip ahead. No. Nope. Oh, let's go to weird. Nope. 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 Nope, that's like trap music. So if you listen to this, it kind of sounds weird. It sounds like, I don't know, it's like, what do you imagine? And the only way that I even learned to do this was a history class, and our teacher was hella into what they were doing, thankfully. And he was like, if you listen to this song, what do you imagine? What do you think? And so if you a freaking, I don't know, jerk, then you just like, I don't hear nothing. I hear stupid music. But if you just for real listen, like, what does it sound like? What does it make come to mind? It's like you can't figure something out or whatever, more or less, or it's kind of quirky. So maybe you put and you figure like, oh, that would be good for something later, but not right now. Yeah, no. Nope. No. So all of this sucks. So I'm going to take the weird filter off and just scroll to, let's see. Nope. 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 Cause you see how it just sounds like too much music or whatever. It's just like, I'm like, no. So it's like, no, it's like, these are like more, I don't know, song. So it's like, it would take you a second to maybe find one. ASMR. Oh, hell no. So this kind of has like a Scooby-Doo vibe. So again, it could work, and it's just like, try it. So I may download that one and throw it underneath, and I'll just listen to me saying the parts like it's already edited together, and then I'll play the song and I'll listen and I'm like, is it kind of fit? And I'm like, no, but I would save that one. And I'd be like, oh, that would be cool for like, if I had a Scooby-Doo something. So maybe I go get a red turtleneck or something from Walmart or whatever. And whatever the hell Velma wears. And like, she trying to figure out camera stuff. And maybe that's another skit that I decide to do, but for later kind of a deal. So if I go to, cause I'm gonna try to find it. I have usually playlists. So I like Quirky Fun Tunes is one that I have. I don't know how well y'all can hear this or how loud it is per se. It should be good. So that one, it kind of has its own vibe. I've used this before. I've used that one before. Used that one before. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so to not to belabor the point, but so you can kind of hear like, oh, that one sounds like, or that one is like, oh, it'd be cool. And the fact that they have the note spaces in here, I would just put the random idea of what I thought, even in this moment, what I think is going to be. So that way it's saved. So when I'm looking for something, I would come up here, type and search, and that's how I would find the track again or whatever. And then the other part of this, and then we'll get off of this for our little breakdown case study, sound effects. So sometimes if something is whooshing by, you expect a whoosh kind of sound. So I would go type into search whoosh for the sound effects until I found one that sounds kind of like it would be like a whoosh. I literally would make that noise in my mouth if that's what I imagine. And I'm like, whoosh. And I'm like, okay, I need to find something like that. And then I would go look for, I would type in whoosh because that's a real noise. So I would go up here to sound effects in Epidemic. I think Epidemic does like sound effects kind of like best, or you just go to search and just type in whoosh. And then to the sound effects tab, and then Now, obviously, that doesn't sound like the noise I made. Nope. 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 Those sound like futuristic, sci-fi channel, freaking aliens. That sounds like an alien noise. Nope. 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 No, I don't like that ring at the end. Nope. Nope. Could be. Nope. 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 So I'm just like, look. So maybe that would be the if it sound like a fireball, but I'm like, no, not quite. Not quite, you know. And you just keep going through and you keep playing around with the sounds for a few, and it's like, well, I don't have time to play. I'm an entrepreneur. Then you don't have time to make content. Because that's what make content is good, is taking the few extra 15 minutes and finding the right sounds. I don't take all day on this. I'm like, set a time. I got 15 minutes to scroll through magical. Nope, too much. Nope. If I was hitting a piece of glass at the end, maybe. Or something like that. It's just like whoosh. Or it's like maybe I'll go and type whip is another one. That's going to be a voice kind of thing. So something like that. If maybe that's a little bit closer, it's like transition noises. That one may work. I've used that one a lot. So it's just like, it depends on the what kind of a hit swing sound or whatever. But the little bit that you will add and you'll bring that noise down in editing so that you can add it makes the difference. Even when I go and type in police sound effects. Yeah, police dispatch.
Be advised, car 4 has control. 10-4.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so we got police dispatch. It's police siren. Good enough. Police siren. Put that together, maybe a dispatch sound real low, and it's all videos is nothing but layers. So I find the song, if it has any relevant sound effects or whatever, I'll add those. And then again, it's just like, that's what I imagine. That's what I'm gonna put together. It's like, or that's what you would expect to see if you saw a scene or anything anywhere with the police. You expect to hear sirens or code 727. We got some, like, that's what you would expect to see. So let's go back to Instagram. And you play this clip. You hit him with a light stand? Yeah. You said we'd format his memory card. I even added a helicopter noise.
You didn't see anything, okay? His eye just broke. I mean, I did a little bit.
Like, listen.
No, look, you didn't see anything. I mean, sometimes I could see some stuff, but other times I couldn't. We're gonna get arrested. You hit him with a light stand? Yeah.
Helicopter.
You said we'd format his memory card. Yeah, look, the cops are here.
Layers. That's all it is. So it was like, it was more audio than it was the video clips. So should you have to do all of that for your videos? It's a 15-second scale. It's like, how long is it really gonna take you? Not that long. So you got 15, 30 minutes, whatever, to make a piece that gets you how much reach to do what, you know? So, and regular micro content definitely don't take all that. But again, if I'm going through the trouble to make a skit, I'm gonna go through the trouble to make sure I make it good. So at least I'm thinking like, oh, it's like, what do I expect to see? Or sometimes I'll come across an audio while I'm searching and then I'll say, oh, a helicopter. I didn't even think of that. Let me throw that in there. And you're having fun. Some of y'all need to have fun with your content. That's the problem. You've lost the ability to have fun because of whatever. So, let's see here. All right, let me catch back up to whatever the conversations or questions were. So 256 gigabyte, unless it's a SanDisk Extreme Pro, still no. So any recommendations or scolding? I mean, since you've been stepping on toes this week, when it comes to the Vlogpastors, figure out what you want to do with that show. To be honest with you, again, when you hear the word Vlogpastors, what do you expect? You know, kind of a thing. What do you think? And what are other people also having challenges with? The thing with y'all more or less are pioneering that space. So I would pay attention to old school videos of Trey Van Camp, and not even like his old stuff, but like when he was actually going out vlogging or whatever. And I would pay attention to that Christian vlogger when he was doing his videos and he was actually going out vlogging and stuff like that. And look at the comments. Look at the questions. Those haven't changed. Christian communities have the worst content on the internet, period, because there is none or there's a lack of accurate stuff or proper representation of what actually the hell something actually means or makes sense. So you have a live stream capacity in regards to where I would be doing a live stream where we answer all what does this scripture mean or blah, blah, blah. And if somebody come across one that you really don't know all that well, you have to do more research. You can say that and move on. Or you can be like, how to vlog better as a pastor, or how to start vlogging as a pastor, or whatever. I would honestly revamp the show to have dedicated topics of stuff that are specific to the pain points and the interest points of things that people have. I would do it topical, at least for a while. And even if it's one out of every 4 to 6 episodes where it is a Q&A, let's hang out, ask me anything kind of a deal, then I would go about that kind of a format for that kind of a show, because there are people that are in nonprofit spaces needing to figure out how to leverage it. Or how do you light? I wouldn't even say light. It's like, how do you record in your space for wherever the church is, or how to do a church tour for your whatever, how to do a promo video, kind of a stuff for your church. Similar things to like how Trey does is like, okay, how to do that. We do breakdowns about all kinds of stuff. I'd leverage that platform way better. In my opinion, it's just not properly leveraged at this point, because everybody hanging out don't mean anything if nobody's actually growing to do anything. And then we all sitting around still 10 years later, like, I wish somebody had done this and it should have been you to do it. Kind of a perspective, my opinion, professional opinion in that respect. But real quick, while I'm on that one, what did I say his name was? Justin Coe. I think Coe, I think it is K-O-H or something, or K-O-E of, what is the channel name? Just said it. That Christian vlogger. It's not called that anymore, but just to the point, for those of you that are in nonprofit-esque spaces and stuff like that or whatever. And so you got to think about, let's go to here, because you're not going to be able to see that well. Let's go to videos, and we'll skip past the I'm listening series kind of a deal. And so a lot of these things and he catch a lot of hell for some of the topics and stuff, but some of that stuff are great things to start discussing because nobody talks about them, kind of a deal. But I'm going more to here, the problem with the rat race, the move, that's the podcast that he did. So I'm skipping past that, all of that stuff. It was a good series, but it just not to the point of what I'm talking about. Waiting for God sucks. Why God makes us wait for something. What if I mess up? Kind of a stuff. All those relevant things of like, how could I give an answer to that in a vlog format? I would go through, how do you vlog? I'm not even showing the screen, my bad. I would go through, how do you vlog? How to get started vlogging with your phone, and actually do one. So if you're going to demonstrate one, let that actually be for a real video, so they see both sides of it, the behind the scenes and then what the finished product looks like. A simple tip for sharing your faith. Those are good examples. If we went to this video, and it could be a sit down video, whatever, I would start demonstrating and talking about and speaking to points relevant to this. So if we go in the comments, which can always be a disaster when it comes to Christian content or like spaces or whatever, it's still great, incredibly unique, fun, practical, and helpful, and exciting. Really like this style, so I would watch it. 35 people agree. Love the museum and the editing. Travel content is always a good way to go. Thanks for making Christ shareable and lovable. Wow, I didn't know that museum existed, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm assuming that they're speaking to the, what's the name of the exhibit that I think it's in Washington, D.C., if I'm wrong. It may be in that other park, but I'm trying to think. But yeah, so again, it's like different things. Thanks for sharing this museum with us, blah, blah, blah. Ouch, it ended when it was going great. Okay, still enjoyed it. I don't know what they missed. But I would go through the comments and look through and think through what are people talking. Even Dennis Paulette 2 years ago. Great tip, great tour of the museum. So I'm sure he went and visited this specific thing that I'm thinking of, which is probably it, and started talking about those different things. Where are you going? That you could speak to different things, or this is similar to, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
add those segments.
We obviously care about sharing our faith, but...
My bad. I'll go ahead and let that play, but I forgot to turn the audio off. But it's like, where are you going or what are you doing where you can show and demonstrate different things? Or this is very similar in our regular history museums locally. It's like you have a bunch of stuff. They even have like a slave exhibit or whatever. And I remember getting like super emotional because it just was painful to see. And my mom took me and we were having a conversation about just different stuff. This is what the house looked like where your great grandmother and them lived. This is what it was like when it was such and such, whatever. That's not the true actual location, but it's representative to what it was like. It's the same thing with anything else, history museums, art museums, or whatever, or this art work at the art museum is representative to whatever. This is the artist that did blah, blah, blah. So many different avenues of what you could do when it comes to a lot of different stuff that you can leverage. And this is literally for anybody's niche specifically. You can leverage your thing. You just need to start, one, capturing your ideas. The Rocketbook, I'm finding, is a fantastic tool for a lot of this stuff, because at the bottom here, you can't see it, but at the bottom, there are icons so you can create a specific Dropbox or Google Drive folder or whatever you use specifically, and start leveraging that by, when I take a picture, it uploads not just to the app, but it will automatically send it to that Dropbox folder. And you can segment those out. These are random ideas or whatever. And then I can erase this page. It comes with a little microfiber cloth rag and water, and I can wipe this clean so I can go on about my day. So, but I'm also capturing that content. And so whatever I'm having, think about, like, I'm going to New York. So I'm already thinking, because I'm spending extra time there, because I'm like, if I'm going ham. I'm going all out. I've never been to New York before. I've never wanted to go to New York. Like, it just seemed too much. But now it's like, okay, I'm not mad that the pandemic is going to come, like, less people around. I don't quite mind that as an introvert. But, it's like I want to experience different things. So where do I want to go? What content can I make? What's relevant there that I can leverage and take advantage of? All kinds of stuff. Even if you're not traveling, going anywhere. What's online, I'm showing you examples. I'm not at that museum, but we could watch it and I can dissect it and go through the video literally a couple seconds ago. If I was giving tips on something, he was going through, I think, about this part here, and you'll see where a sign comes on and you'll see that sign starts to flicker. And I could explain to you how that is relevant to the shutter speed that his camera is currently set at in the frame rate. And I know he's shooting at 60 frames per second is what it looks like on here. And so that and 60 hertz on the videos are what is resulting in that flickering kind of a deal that you would see on the light when he's pointed at a sign, whatever that part is at. And I'm like, so here's what you can do if you're going indoors. It's like you can decide that you don't want to be bothered with it and just keep recording. You could take a picture of it, even with your phone, that does a better job at translating that data. Or it's like you can adjust it. So right there, that sign, you see all that banding, those black lines and stuff. Sometimes you'll get that with light bulbs. So if I'm explaining the vlogging process, or if I'm explaining the how to do something, even for video, I could do this for my own stuff and be like, here's how to avoid getting banding in your videos if you're going out and you're vlogging and doing whatever. Because I'm there, or even if I see it after the vlog, I'm back at home now. And I'm like, I recently went on a trip to blah, blah, blah. And we saw this sign, and you see this flickering. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that, or what I could have done to get rid of that. Because you can replicate that where you are. I can do that with that light bulb right behind me. So different things that are relevant to your space, that are relevant to your people, that you could speak to and talk to, that would be very helpful to them if you created it. Sounds good. Thank you. You're most welcome. I was able to get my Sigma 16 from Amazon, and they offered $100 off when opening a new line of credit. Yeah. Just for the Amazon credit card or what have you. Most companies usually have something like that. It was pretty cool. All right, let's scroll forward. As I love that point of work. We can't get away from the work. 100%. Hola, Migs. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. How are you streaming in 4K? I'm using the incredible software tool that you are now seeing, which is called Ecamm Live, that I can stream in 1080p. I could stream in 4K. I could stream in 2K if I wanted to. It's just a preference, honestly. And then also Ethernet. and fast internet, and making sure that your stuff can handle it. And this is on a 2016 MacBook Pro, something or another. So eCam, Diana.link/eCam, ECAMM. And it is Mac specific, but yeah. So, and the reason why is because the other thing, like we were talking about Instagram earlier, the other thing with Instagram is that they made mention that the video content, when it comes to Reels that they will push, is the higher quality. So it's not saying that your phone. Oakley dokley, we're back because I don't know what happened, but it went down for the count for a minute. So yeah, so I guess we'll rock and roll for a minute. Saying buffering. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if I clicked something on accident, and I hope I didn't, but I think it tried to start like another stream or whatever, interrupted. So, or maybe I accidentally hit something. I know sometimes that happens if I accidentally will hit on the eCam Live beta and it's trying to open the two together. Can't do that. So my apologies if I hit something, or sorry if it crashed for whatever reason. But all right, but we're back. But yes, when it comes to Instagram, and basically what I was saying, they're not saying that they don't care that it's on the phone any longer, or it needs to be on a camera, but they are saying that they do care about the quality. And when they say it can't be low quality or lower quality, lower resolution quality, if we go back over here, is because they want it to be something that can be shared and handle the compression rates and the downloads and the uploads constantly or whatever. So that core file needs to be good. Whereas if it looks like a potato and it sucks, then it sucks. And so basically, like, clean the lens on your camera or your phone or whatever, the front and the back, whichever one you're using. And then your phones can do 4K. Switch to maybe recording in 4K on your phones, even for your vertical videos and stuff. The higher quality matters simply because, again, it needs to survive the compression rate. And if you do get something where people, if they want to pull the sound, that's one thing. If they want to pull the video, that's something else, you know, or just do edit and stuff like that. They just don't want it to look like crap, more or less, because that's the point. They want the shareability factor in there. So that's the thing with that there, specifically. Saying Orange short videos are hilarious. Joining the live stream, happy to be here. Good to see you, Betty. Glad that you are here. Saying yes, thoughts and prayers to Owen, 100%. Saying editing, another word for crop. Not sure what you mean there. Okay. Let's see here. Saying poor look, Panasonic don't get no. They get it. They get what they deserve. They get what they deserve. Say I'm loving the IG content. Well, I appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying it. Camera Junkie, always cracking up. Always get a kick out of the stuff, so I appreciate that. Saying SA hashtag SAP sneaker preach. Happy Friday, Gregarious. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Say I just checked and the one reel I uploaded has 13,000 views. I'm sleeping on Instagram Reels. Yes, you are. And currently, I don't know if y'all are also aware, but TikTok gets reach a little bit better and faster than Instagram still, because it's just it's like the core. And it's funny because YouTube didn't start this whole thing. Let's go over to performance, to similar videos at times. Not all of them get re-uploaded, but some are universal. So you got 218, 287, 1100. Let's go back, 124, 1232, 974. Those are plays. I mean, time people played it. 223, 365, 1231, 409, 223, 91, 290, 874, 379. It's just like you see like what kind of numbers that we're getting over here. And then even like some of these other pieces, 2127, 3123, blah, 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 and on and so on and so forth. And again, I'm literally just sitting here swinging in my chair and 4,000 plays, because it's not important what I say. I'm just kind of co-signing like, yeah, it's relevant over here too. So I may put text on screen. I don't need to say nothing because Gary was talking at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like the captions do the job there. And Gary is also a known entity. People know. So the other thing is like one of the videos that I've posted. So like, yeah, this one, it wasn't even nothing that I did. It was freaking Tyler Perry. And I saw it on, it was a YouTube suggestion. I pulled that video clip and I'm like, this is relevant because people get too caught up in whatever. So I don't need to say it. Tyler Perry already said it. He's more well known. He's this, that, or whatever. 22,000 on that one is back in May. And it was another one that did really well also. Oh, this one. Still in May. 26,000 on that one. So those did exceptionally well. But usually it's like they do very well over here. Whereas if I go to, did I close Instagram? I think I did. So if I go to Instagram, and I go here, and we go over to see for those same videos, more or less same or different audience, but different platform. Well, I don't even have to go to the reels. The post, 61 plays, 81 hearts on that one, 153 plays. The plays are going to be for regular video posts or whatever. 127. That's 19 hearts. The reels stats, I would have to go to the reels tab to see those. So that's another reel. That's another reel. You just have to see that for the plays. So let me scroll down before I start uploading reels again. Or I'll just have to go over here. Just go to reels tab and then you can see how many plays. So like I said, 9222, 227, 514, 564, 544, 1233, 2301, 502, 2365, 249. Like it just, still, it's not bad. But again, it's that little bit extra, and that's a little bit better over on TikTok. Same videos, saying the same stuff, resonates differently. And I'm also testing to see like, what do you prefer over here versus over there? And I'll readjust and resegment again. And it's always another layer of how well something performs or whatever. The captions on this one was added in the app. I'm not doing captions. I'm like, they want to do cap. Nope. I'm gonna pull this clip. We'll need captions for it. No header, no nothing. Going full screen, whatever. I'm gonna add some B-roll. And I'm gonna add the captions in there, make the small adjustments for the corrections in app. Because I was also doing a video. I have some social media content videos that are needing to be edited about the how to do pieces like this or whatever, but more specifically how to get the captions on screen in Instagram. How does that work? So need a video to test. The video didn't do too bad. It's 1403. So again, thinking outside the box, also leveraging and using the stuff that's there. And I edit my videos in Final Cut instead of in the app just because it's faster and it's less headache for me personally, just because I always edit on a computer. I just don't like mobile editing. I hate it personally. So yeah. Saying, did I just notice that IG feels extended the length to, so I got access to that a little bit early because I was already posting like reels and video and stuff. So I guess they was like, okay, you get to be one of the people. Because I didn't get like an email or saying, hey, you've been granted permission. But yes, Instagram Reels went from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And for those that were like, oh, you don't have enough time to say something in 30 seconds. Sure you do. Let's pause for the calls for the music. Let's go back. Let's do back to case study mode. Okay, my first reel was a skit because that was the first idea that I had. So I could play music on my stuff.
So we get seriously Cannon.
Epidemic sound.
Cannon, wake up. Has it been 30 minutes? It's called clean HDMI. Seriously, Panasonic? Sorry, it's hard to focus. I'm so annoyed. All right, so we get seriously Cannon. Cannon, wake up. Has it been 30 minutes? It's called
so pause for the calls on the audio for this one. If you notice, we're gonna listen to this one more time. You hear the talking and then you hear the snoring before you see who is snoring. So, and I probably need to do a video about this. So I need somebody to take notes on all the things that I said I was going to do a video about from the streams. So if you think about J and L cuts, the letter J has the hook underneath, which means the audio is starting and then the video comes in. That's, more or less that. So I'm like, okay, it would make sense if you heard who was snoring before they said or acknowledged that somebody was snoring or asleep. Even in real life, you sitting there, you teaching, and you looking to all you hear from the back, if you're a teacher or whatever, looking at your notebook, and then all you hear is snoring. You hear it before you see it. And then you're like, who is snoring? Susan, wake up. Then you notice. No different in the video. But so it's like the different things. Small things like the audio pulled from Epidemic Sound. I'm like, nothing special. No sound effects.
Seriously, Panasonic? Sorry, it's hard to focus.
Vaseline on the glasses,
All right,
old pair of
so we
glasses.
Seriously, Canon.
I think with a little bit of baby powder to make it look foggy.
It's been 30 minutes. It's called Clean HDMI.
Wear a baseball cap, index cards.
Seriously, Panasonic? Sorry, it's hard to focus.
Because I wasn't sure how to do the text or how I wanted to do the text because it was my first one. So I'm just gonna lie. I was like, the hell with this. And post-it note and postcard is right here. It wasn't trying to be funny. It just was like, I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna put 3 post-it with 3 Sharpies and write the name with 3 different Sharp. That's literally. I wasn't trying to be funny or whatever. I'm just like, I don't want to do the text thing. I'm like, I can't figure out how, like in-app or in whatever. I hadn't quite figured out the what I wanted to do for that because I hadn't done that before. So I'm just like, the hell with this post-it notes. I'm just like, we're going for the gold here. So yeah. So if you think about it, so again, now listen again and you'll hear the snoring when it starts over.
Wake up.
Let me click back on it so it starts over.
All right. So we get, seriously, Canon. Canon, wake up. It's been 30 minutes. It's called Clean HDMI. Seriously, Panasonic? Sorry, it's hard to focus. I'm so annoyed. All right, so we get, seriously, Canon.
Now, pause. In Final Cut, in any of your editing softwares, wherever you get overlays and stuff from, to sell and help understand, for people to understand what is happening here when you are doing this kind of stuff. Because you're used to seeing this. I'm alluding to familiarity. All the marketing and stuff, it gets baked into these skits too. So it's like when you are talking about sales, alluding to familiarity is assuming that you knew like whoever was at the front desk. It's like, hey, Susan. So you're not saying, hey, Miss Cosgrove. You're saying, hey, Susan, how you doing? It's good to see you. Is Bill in? Instead of saying, is Mr. Franklin in? I'm just acknowledging Bill as if first name basis lets me know that that person is knowledgeable of me. And even if Susan doesn't know who I am, Bill should. That alludes to Susan, talk right to me because I know who I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a stuff. Read books, guys. Read books. So alluding to familiarity in the video. There's a record symbol up here. There's a battery symbol. If you make videos, you're used to seeing this. This is just like an old school play button. It don't need to be so accurate. 29:59 is the time that the max amount that you can do before your camera stops recording or the camera goes to sleep. In this case, the camera is asleep. So when I hit play,
Canon, wake up.
you see it change to 0 seconds. Micro nuances here. Maybe nobody would have noticed, maybe somebody would, but it more or less sells the skit and sells the just the funniness of it all, because now it's starting over, it's back at 0. Little stuff. And once I did that, I'm like, oh, that's good. So when I went and added, and I did this one, and I'm like, let's do a joke.
I kid you not. This 2-year-old's walking in the grocery store.
Pause for the calls. I'm gonna turn the audio off. You see the record blinking? You see that normally in video. So it's nothing that you're not used to. 29:59, it fell asleep in the middle of talking because it was almost there by the time the video started. So a little bit of quirky music.
Grocery store going
sells
to
the dream.
Old lady. Mm-hmm. Right when he gets up to the old lady,
So it took me a minute to fall right. That didn't seem like an exaggerated thing. So I probably did that like 3 times of just like where you and you just fade off. And so, that's it. Wearing a lapel underneath the shirt or whatever, so the audio could be clear. And that's it. Nothing special when it comes to that kind of stuff. But again, those are 30 seconds or less. Some of them are like 15, 20 seconds. So it's like, oh, I don't have enough time. Sure you do. I was like, I don't want to do only just skits. Here's one where it's a tip.
This is what's called a hot shoe on your camera.
It has electronics that in
is a
photography
voiceover.
can be used for flash systems,
All
and
B-roll.
in video can be used to connect XLR audio interfaces.
Cold shoes, on the other hand,
Don't have electronic connectors, but are still great when holding microphones or accessories for your camera.
this is
All right.
what's called a
Let's do the breakdown for this one. If you listen, that first part that comes in robotic or whatever, I didn't go find that audio. That's my voice. And I didn't try to sound anything weird, but you got those tools in your editing softwares, and all of them. You can adjust your voice. And so I added like the robot sound. I added the pitch changer so you can slide it left or right. And I made it so that it sounded lower toned. And I added the robot thing on there. So that wasn't like super robotic, but pretty much robotic, because I'm like, that's what I imagine. I'm like, that's what I'm thinking would be cool, because I wanted to do this more techie like or whatever with the overlays. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Hot shoe on your camera.
It has electronics that in photography can be used for flash systems, and in video can be
Sound
used to
effect
connect XLR
for the transition
audio interfaces.
Cold shoes, on the other hand,
Don't have electronic connectors.
Just
but are
recorded
still
it.
Great when
Just recorded that in Well, welcome back to the rebroadcast, because the internet went out. We have been having internet outages randomly for like the last 3 days. So unfortunately, it happened on the stream. We went all red. So it don't matter. Wi-Fi, Ethernet, it just went out. So welcome back. Internet outage. I don't know what's going on, and I don't have any messages from the internet company. But I guess we're going to be having that problem today, maybe. But anyway, back to what I was saying, and then we'll actually wrap this up. But yeah, unfortunately, internet outage. So said I'm holding steady. Appreciate that. No, it's just the internet went out. It just completely went red. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. All right, so back to what I was saying. But yeah, basically for that clip that I was showing, literally all I did, camera in front of me on the tripod, or you can use your phone, and all I did was flick the camera so that when it came in, it looked like, and I could slow it down or speed it up and do what's called like a speed ramp, where you're going slow for one point, and then you go ahead and speed it up, and then you slow it back down or whatever. So that's all that particular clip is, but it's 30 seconds. And so even this one here, using B-roll and stuff from a previous video, and I'm like, okay, I got 30 seconds to do this. So that means I need to now write out a script for the voiceover so I can read it properly. Those are the few times like where I will write a script, but it's like I have 30 seconds, so it has to be succinct. And I also need to understand, like, how can I say this, and then I'll rewrite it again, or replace like 4 words and compound that into a better word, and just to be more concise and more together. So I'm like, here's my original idea, just write it out. And then what I'll do after that is just go ahead and like, okay, now how can I rephrase this to get it down to about 45 words maybe, because you speak faster than you think that you do. And so if we go back to this clip, I'm gonna turn audio on this time. Your podcast microphone directly with your camera. You'll need 3 things. Number 1, a podcast microphone with a headphone jack, a TRS 3.5 millimeter cable, and a camera. Step 1, connect one end of the TRS cable into the headphone jack. Step 2, plug the other end into the camera. Make sure your USB microphone is powered by being plugged into the computer or using your phone as a power source. And now you can get podcast-like audio using your USB podcasting mic. How do you... So that didn't seem like it, or maybe it did seem like a long time, but 30 seconds, you like, oh, that's not enough time. It actually really is a lot of time. 60 seconds actually is a lot of time. It's one thing if you're clipping from a live stream and repurposing that, or clipping from a video and you're repurposing that or whatever. But if it's like you're showing somebody how to do something or whatever, those tips that you're creating and the what you're doing, it don't take that long. Like it just don't. And sometimes you go with the original version instead of revising maybe, and how can I say this better? But that's just B-roll from a video that I already had. But the way I said it in the YouTube video is not going to work for this Instagram reel. So for me to be able to do that, it's like the one part I'm like, you'll need 3 things. Instead of saying, you want to make sure that you have 3 pieces. It's like, you need 3 things. Like, and just revise it until I get it better. And then I'll test, because you can just go to Google and just start a timer, or on your phone, start a timer. And I would read and I would say it and see naturally if I'm saying it, because I don't speed my voice up afterwards in editing or nothing. I just say it. I'm like, I'll read what I've written down. And if I'm like at a minute, 20 seconds, I'm like, oh, hell no, that's not going to work. But if I read it and I'm like, okay, cool, I can say it a little bit faster, and then I know I'll make time. That's it. It's just putting that extra little bit of work into some of these pieces to get it to do what you need it to do. Or even just taking little skits, like that was an actual thing from, I thought I was recording. I did a whole part of a real video. And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I just said. And by the time I was pressing thinking I'm stopping the recording is just now starting. So I'm like, yep, take it, because people think that I'm perfect or something, or I never mess up. And I'm like, no, when you thought you was recording the whole time, have you ever done this? Can you relate? Blah, blah, blah. People like, hell yes. And all I need to do for the captions, tell me I'm not by myself, then that y'all do this too. And they're like, yes, of course, you know, kind of a thing, connection point. So, you know, stuff like that. All right, so let's see here. Saying that line is great. Sometimes I can see some stuff. And that's the thing, is I wanted those skits to just be, as we're continuing and doing this breakdown of the how to do these, I just wanted it to be as if we were talking. I don't try to really think of like a script, or I need to be good in acting, or I don't think about any of that stuff. I just think, if I'm talking to a friend, what would I say? If somebody said, can you see? Like, sometimes I can see some stuff, but other times I can't. You know, it's just like lazy in language and all of that. It's like, what would you usually say if your friend was just like, do that taste bad? It's just like, it don't taste good. Like, those are things that you would say to a friend or in normal conversations. And that's the only thing that I do when it comes to personalities. That is me. That's the stuff. It's like, sometimes I can see some stuff, but other times I can't. You know, like example, case in point, I was actually getting glasses for the first time, and I walked outside and I was like, wow. I was like, the trees look really green. I'm like, look at the grass. And I'm like, man, the sky's like really look like these, like I can see that sign. She's like, you couldn't see before. And I was like, I thought I could, but I guess I couldn't. Like, that could be a skit for like an eye doctor's thing or whatever, because you know people really feel like that. And that's an actual true experience that I actually had. But if I was an eye doctor and I'm making stuff for, like, that's the skit that I would do. Or the high stepping, because you're not quite sure, depending on how strong your glasses or your prescriptions are, you're not sure. And so you just like, well, shoot, you know, you like, well, you know, I just play on those things that are normal, but I just make it seem like it's a regular conversation. I don't try to, you know, per se act or whatever. So I like creating playlists in Epidemic Sound. It makes it so much easier when looking for songs. Yeah. And so quick pro tip here, if you're using something like an Epidemic Sound or Upbeat or Story Blocks for your music and B-roll and stuff, make sure that you are creating those playlists and you can listen as you're working. So instead of listening to Rihanna or Drake or whomever you may be interested in, for anybody, Sting for some of y'all, you know, whoever you listen to, Guns N' Roses, instead of listening to that, go listen to the royalty-free music for the stuff that you're paying for. Because if you can vibe to it, then it's like, oh, this is cool background music. Or if you can listen to it, then you like, oh, this is good. Or this will be cool for whatever. I pick a genre and I'll listen to things that I think I may listen to in the background. And then when I get one, I'm like, oh, that'd be cool for whatever. So that's a great way to curate the playlist. And I used to do that a lot when I worked. So if they allowed us to listen to music or something, yes, I have on headphones, but that's what I'm listening to instead while I'm working. And I'm picking songs so when I would get home, I could already have good music to pick for whatever, and for specific videos. Cause I'm like, I have a vibe that I think I want to go with, like an 80s themed kind of esque music, just vibing with that for a day. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick these, I'm gonna listen through these kind of tracks. So it was good. So I'm researching for my first Sony camera for vlogging, workout videos, and live streaming, hoping to find one that will let me do all. Excited to vlog again. I mean, I'm sure I know you'd have seen the ZVE10 stuff, but just like, yeah, it depends. I'll better know where that camera fits and for whom and the whatever's for the in-between once I get it. But more or less, the A6100 and A6100 and 6400 of Sony has kind of become irrelevant in the sense that the ZVE10 has come out, literally exact same sensors, settings, and all that in that body. And it's like, unless those are for hybrid use of photography and videography stuff, or it's just going to sit on a tripod and you found it super cheap, if that's your goal, you're starting now baseline at the ZVE10. And if you want the actual IBIS or battery life kind of a deal, don't mind the flip up screen, then, you know, A6600 for those of us that have it, for the battery life and stuff like that, this will never like fully convert to the ZVE10. I don't think for most of us because of the battery life. At some point that'll get you. But I think though, to be honest with you, ZVE10 is it's going to be best bang for the buck for a lot of stuff, because the $1398 or $699 for the ZVE10 is like, yeah, so that's the thing. So I just need a motivator or an accountability partner. I procrastinate so badly. So here's my thing on this, and it's going to step on a toe or two, but you'll be all right. Because in the words of Charles Capp, it's like, I'll step on your toes, and then God will heal your toes. But here's the thing. No, you don't. The only person that you need to be accountable to is you and your dreams and your goals. If you haven't outlined and identified the why you want to do something enough, you're never going to do it. And sometimes that's a trigger to let you know, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Or don't, like, you're more leaning towards something totally different. Go do that thing instead of the whatever. But if it's between going to record a video or going to watch, like I love rewatching Deadwood, the TV series that came on HBO, whatever. It's hilarious. I like it. It's historically based. Checks all my boxes. But would I rather go make a video or go watch Deadwood? I personally would rather go make a video because I'm personally and genuinely interested in the things that I'm talking about. Topic change 5 years ago to the things that I was talking about then, I'm not as interested. And I would be less passionate. So that trigger is not that I don't want to make the video, but I'm not talking about the right things yet. Well, I've noticed when I'm doing videos about cameras, video content marketing, I'm very excited to talk about those things. I'm not excited to talk to you about small business tax tips and stuff like that, or what laws recently. I'm not excited to talk about that or personal development stuff as much. I'm more excited to talk about this. Analytics show people are leaning more towards this and they're more interested in this when I talk about that. I am too. Let's just ditch the other part altogether and let's go here. Now it's kind of like, I'm like, dang, man, I'm getting sleepy. I don't feel like going to bed. I want to do more, kind of a thing. So you don't need no accountability partner. You don't need no motivation or whatever. Because if you cannot self-inflate, we're not like balloons where we actually need the air from others that goes in and then balloons out. Because what happens? It seeps out. It has nothing to self-generate air for itself. The reason why our lungs work the way they work is because they function and control the oxygen for what the body needs. It's not saying, well, if such and such would just give us some air, then we'll be good. No, we're designed to self-generate the air that we need to survive. Recycle it, the way that it goes in and comes out and all of that stuff, the body is designed to handle it. It curates the air. It keeps us going. You know what I'm saying? In the way that helps us to keep going. So if you can't self-generate the air, the beliefs that you need, it's always going to be a limited time only experience for when somebody puffs you up, because you can't maintain it. You have to generate the original source and creative umption to get there yourself. Like it's fine to get inspiration at times, and everybody do need pick-me-ups. Let's not get it twisted. You definitely need pick-me-ups and stuff like that, but at some point you have to have self-generating efforts of what your goals and your visions and your dreams are. And if it's not enough, whatever you've identified, and a lot of people blame their kids. I want to do this for my kids. No, you don't. Your kids suck. You whoop them, you put them in timeout, and they throw spaghetti on the walls. They give you mustard diapers from the time that they're unable to walk, and freaking looks like cinnamon roll logs by the time they can walk. But it's like, even though you love your children and you care about your children are beneficiaries of your success and the dreams and the passions that you have. You have a purpose, I believe, long before your children get here. Your children may help amplify and to bring that out, but you already have something that you're attracted to, and even, I believe, designed to do and serve, whatever it is. It could be slushies and starting up a freaking lemonade bar or whatever. You know, it's like, whatever it is, long before they get here. So your children become beneficiaries of what you're doing, and they also become amplifiers to help you further push sometimes when you need that booster. But they aren't the original generating source for what pushes you. So if you haven't figured that out for why you're pushed to do a thing, You never, everything is always going to be a limited time only. Go to an event. Yeah, I'm inspired. I'm great. I'm doing this now or whatever. 3-4 months later, you back to needing another puff up. So I would change that. My professional opinion there. I'm curious, how do you get rid of the banding caused by light flicker? Depends on where you live. I do believe you are located in the United States. When you have, so this light back here or whatever, if I adjust this, matter of fact, I think I may have, and we could, with all of our internet challenges today, I had an Amazon package that was supposed to come, which is a remote, which may be helpful if that is at my door already. So what you are looking at is the shutter speed. The shutter speed deals with motion blur. Okay. Well, in video and your lights, I think in the US we deal with like 60 hertz or whatever. And so usually, like if you're shooting like let's say 30 frames per second, your shutter speed is 1/60th of a second, because you're matching what is happening in the lights, the hertz that's coming through that our natural eyes cannot see. Your camera can, and it's set to go at the same pace. And so because they're cycling more or less, and this is a very generalized explanation, they're going at the same time, or they're competing or whatever it's doing, you're seeing it on the camera, whereas your eyes don't see it. So you slightly adjust, and can slightly adjust like the shutter speed, so that they are not synced up properly and you're seeing it at the same time. So if I adjusted that light somewhat, or went and showed you the actual bulb, that's why I don't have where you see the actual bulb for that light, because it's at 60 hertz. Excuse me. But you do see the light reflections. You just see what it's showing, what it's casting out, and it's diffused enough, just with the lampshade, it's diffused enough that you're just getting the glow of the light bulb instead of actually seeing the light bulb, which is why when you are purchasing camera lights, you invest in lights that specifically are designed for video, because they know that's why you'll see anti-flicker. They know that you ain't gonna understand the 60 hertz or whatever, and they just find it ain't gonna flick to do all the flashing back and forth. That's why, more or less. Okay. Alrighty. So hashtag Joshua versus it wasn't the internet. Well, it wasn't the computer that shut down or whatever. It was the internet. Thank you. We had a temporary internet outage. Say mentioned 4K. Said never again. No, it's not the 4K. We've been doing this. It's the internet. It completely went out. So there you go. If you played the Wheel of Wonder music, then the stream will remain solid. No. So Diana, you have a wonderful name. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Hello, Diana. Glad that you are here. So I got to follow your TikTok. Yes, follow the TikToks. And the camera shade is real. It is what it is. Saying, but so do you really snore? God help you. No, it's fake. All right. I've been blessed to not be a snorer. But even that, I had to practice. Like, I'm like, okay, how am I going to? Because I'm like, if I just go, I'm like, I got to go. Like, it takes like to get a consistent or whatever. And then I just did it for a few seconds. Audio wise, because I'm not snoring making that snore noise the whole time. I'm like, okay, if I just get a consistent noise, then I can pull that and just loop that or whatever for any time I need the snoring. So I can just sit there and act like I'm snoring instead. But it's like every time I have to do that, like I have to think like, okay, how to do this? Let me see if I can do it now. Like at some point it just, I don't know, but it's trying to like rattle the back of your tongue, the nose, like all of that stuff. Like you're trying to do that. So that takes like a second to like even do that. Cause I'm like, now I'm like this and I'm like, it takes a minute, but no, I actually don't snore. Everybody was like, I'm pretty sure that's real. And I'm like, it's not. Okay. Get your life together. So you need a CPAP. So, do you think Snapchat has a future? I don't know. I'm not, well versed enough in Snapchat to say what that environment may look like. I don't know. And it depends on who the core audience is over there. I'm not like well versed enough with Snapchat to even say like the who does what, or, you know, for as far as that's concerned. I don't know. Saying good CPAP commercial opportunity as well. Just saying. So Canada has narcolepsy. That's their problem. Exactly. Saying, is this TikTok or Instagram? Which should you focus on? You should go where your people are. Where are your people? Is your core and target audience on Instagram primarily, or are they on TikTok? And more than likely, you probably can find your audience on both. And because both platforms are so similar, you likely may need to be on both. Where's your people at? Where's your core and target audience spending their time? And please don't get caught up in the, well, only young people use it, because I probably interact and see, and not because of an age preference or whatever, but I probably interact and see more older creators on TikTok than on the For You page and the Who's Recommended and all. I see a huge demographic. Obviously, the stuff that some of the younger demographics are doing or whatever is not of interest to me, but I see a crap load of content that is solely older people, and it's plenty of them, more than I could ever, you know, catch the gist of. So saying, love your stuff. Thank you so much, Grind and Pivot. Appreciate that. Alrighty. So like I said, the buffering wasn't y'all, all of you that were commenting the buffering, it was the internet. And I'm constantly now watching, like, is the bar blue or is it red? So there you go. So maybe we hit the maximum number of people watching. Yeah, I doubt it. Definitely not yet. Okay, let's see here. So you can lose internet and then start the stream again. This is through Ecamm. So what happened was, because I took screenshots just in case it might be an Ecamm specific thing. So I guess teachable moment here, and then we may call it good. Teachable moment here. Screenshots. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this in. Okay, so what you're seeing now is a picture that I took of a screenshot, so I could see if something was going on, and I'll pull this down some. So what happened was, I was like, okay, anytime something happens, I want to see if I'm capturing a quick error that may be Ecamm specific, or is it me specific? At that point, I'm knowing that, like, the internet went out. So when I come back in, when the internet comes back in, it'll say on this message you'll see here, resume the current broadcast. Okay, it's detected. Ecamm has detected that I already have one and currently in progress. Do I want to click that one back up? The answer is, for me at that point, yes. So everything else, like if you look at the way, like the stream is still the same or whatever. Now I could hit the go live in that bottom right hand corner or whatever. Bring this up. I could hit that go live, and it's like you can go to YouTube, do an unlisted stream or whatever, but I don't have to, because it's saying like, oh, you still had another stream that you didn't end properly. Do you want to go back to that one? And all I would need to pick at that point is yes. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So it dropped 3 times or was it 2 or 3 times today? And it's just like, you want to pick up from where you, I'm like, yeah, please. So that's it, you know, and y'all get to stay in the chat. Now, anywhere else, once the stream is gone, it's gone. But thankfully with Ecamm, they able to pick that back up. So when the internet goes out, and I've even had, if it's not internet related, I was trying a docking station, and the docking station, just like it was draining the power, and it wasn't allowing the the computer's battery to stay at 100%. So I wasn't noticing that. I started at 100%, and like that stream got down to like 3%. The computer was starting to shut down, and Doc was on the stream even too. Okay, I changed stuff, switched docking stations or whatever. I'm like, if that one's not gonna work, that's going back. Switched, restarted the computer, opened Ecamm. It's like, you want to pick back up from where you left? I'm like, yes, please. And kept the stream going. So that's one of the things, is like, I don't encounter that a lot, or even a lot at all. But it is nice to have access to that, like when something does go wrong or awry, that you can, you know, cover where stuff is. So let's see here. Saying 30 is too much. Is it like 30 seconds for the attention span of our viewers? 30 seconds? Here's the thing. viewers will watch longer things, and 30 seconds isn't a lot though, but you also have to think, are you maintaining their interest or not? And the cool thing with the analytics, they will tell you the average view duration that people watched and when they left. And that should be triggers. Now, again, if you've refined for your audience specifically based on your analytics and your kind of content and yourselves, and you're like, yeah, we need to cut this down. Great. Fantastic. Because that's what you should do. But for those that may assume, don't just assume like it ain't gonna watch, or these statistics said people watch less than a goldfish. What the hell did they have people looking at? If it was freaking Allegra commercials, then it's like, yeah, they probably don't care about that or whatever. So it's like, if you like something, you'll watch it, period. You know what I'm saying? So check your analytics, but if you did, then so be it. But most people, they ain't checking the analytics. So, so I was blindsided by someone at a liquidation sale. I bought the H300, later found out it was old tech, and interlaced cable is not available. Any cable advice in general? Nope. You may better be able to pose that question to Doc Rock. Because no. I know the de-interlace, there is that function in Ecamm where you have that. But as far as that camera, and I'm not familiar with the camera or the issues that are maybe associated with that camera. So I do not know. So you need to ask Doc, and he probably is, because him and his family, they owned a camera store from way back when, up to maybe a few years ago. Saying, what's up? Just subscribed a few days ago. Thanks for the content. What camera are you using for this live stream? Well, welcome to the fam. Glad that you're here. I'm using the Sony a6400 and the Sony 35mm f1.8 lens. Links to all the stuff is in the description. But that's what I use for this. Saying, cough, cough, define older. Older is 30 plus, 30 years old plus, because this is my birthday month and I will be 30 plus. Okay. So 30 plus years old is honestly older, because it's that older millennial generation. It's like, we got mortgages, got car notes. Most of the folks have kids, multiple kids, married, been married, divorced some, and remarried. And you know what I'm saying? Like all kinds of stuff in political office. So they like that's older. It's older. And if you definitely ask any of the other younger generation, yeah, we think we young, we're older. We ain't old, we're just older. 30. I've even seen like some people, like grandmas, like them and their grandma do TikTok together. And it's the best stuff I've ever seen, because they be firecrackers. They're even like granddad. This lady took her grandpa and grandma to like Disney World or whatever, and they knew all the songs just like she did. She starts singing one, they finish it up or whatever. So older, 30 plus, 30 years old plus. So it ain't like 60 plus, it's 30 plus. Like, let's not get it twisted. How you personally deal with, skipping one. How do you personally deal with views, subs amount, etc.? I think people would love to hear how someone with 14K subs head is versus someone with 500 subs. Can you open up about your true feelings? So my honest feelings around subscribers and stuff has not changed from when I had 300 subscribers to now, because the thing that I would definitely say is like starting with understanding that each person is a person. Like even at 30 subscribers, because it was hella hard to go from just get 10 and 30, let alone 100. So for sure by 300, it's just like, okay, freaking fantastic. So it's just been an amplification and multiplication on top of that, and understanding that these are people. If I held an event and I said 50 people came, they'd be like, oh man, that was awesome. Everybody would. There's not one person that you can say, yeah, I went and did a talk and the room was packed. There's like 50 people in there. Awesome. Oh, I went and did a talk. There's like 100 people in there. Yo, that's huge. What'd you talk about? What'd you teach on? Oh, I went and did a talk and there's 300 people in there. The room was jam packed. People stand up against the wall. Oh man, that's, whoa. Like, what was you talking about? Whatever. Right. So let alone 14,000 plus, now as people are, again, continue to subscribe and what have you, the vision is the same. The understanding of it is that these are people. And that when I create a piece of content or when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm speaking to actual real, like you're actually physically there, typing something in, actually spending and investing your time with me. I'm actually spending and investing my time here when we go to New York and we do this meetup or whatever. I'll get to see a lot of people in person. I saw this in like 2019 and people walking up to me or whatever. I'm like, okay, hold on, back. Like, I don't, like it was weird, but I'm like, how do you even know who I am? Like, you know, it was like, it was baffling because I was working and like, I'm like, oh, okay. So, so I was at the Think Media Growth Video Live event. I was working the camera or whatever. And like, yeah, Sean shouted me out from the stage or whatever. But it was other people's like, oh yeah, I've been following your channel, whatever. I'm trying to be incognito. But it's like, yeah, it's like been following you for whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm a real person. They're real people. So when you're asking people to like, share, subscribe, it's like you got to separate the assuming like that these are numbers instead of that these are people. I'm trying to actually connect with people in the way that I'm helping them with their pain point. Things don't feel pain. People do. Things don't have problems like that. People do. So when I'm speaking to the point of like what Ray teaches in his book that I tell you I pass the framework all the time, person, problem, their pain point. The first thing of that is who is the person? A who. If I said who did that, you're not going to say the Sony A7S III did it. A person did something. Who are you helping? With what specifically? Who? Who is definitive of a person? So anytime you're talking about building any kind of content, audience, or anything of the like, you're speaking to a who, not a what. That's the difference when you're talking about going from 300 to 500, 1,000, 14,000, whatever the number may be, 5,000, 100,000 even, whatever. Things like Nick Nimmin just celebrated 800,000. Those are all people. Who? They're who's, not what's. That's the difference. Is there a group for YouTubers to list equipment for sale? Maybe. I don't know. You try Facebook Marketplace, maybe. Saying what's the difference between Ecamm and StreamYard? One is fantastic and the other is not. No, just so one is online based, and so it's browser based, which is StreamYard. StreamYard is browser based. So in that respect, it is not specific to your computer or whatever. So you can use this on a Windows based machine, you can use it on a Mac, you can use it on what's the other one called? Whatever the other thing is that people use. Linux, I think you can use it on all, whatever, because it's browser based. So at that point, you're fine. However, things happen when it comes to browser based issues as far as the lower quality. For the longest time, it's stuck at 720p and it would be disintegrated looking videos. Audio would have sometimes audio issues with it, and it just sounds weird, you know, or whatever. It would look weird. Okay, finally at 1080p, fantastic, but it's browser based. So as the internet maybe fluctuates, which is still true of live streaming as a whole, but it just was more so there. You can bring on people still with the guest link, stuff like that, all of those things. It's just browser based. And it's more templatized, if you will, in the way that it's the standard. Click this, shape here, click that, do this. Like, it's very, you know what I'm saying, templatized. So if that works for you, go for the gold. Ecamm is Mac specific. You can stream up to 4K. You can also, one of the biggest things was that it has native integration with a lot of different cameras. So whether you're using Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, even some of the Olympus models, Sony, Fuji, whatever, stream via USB. Long before any of the manufacturers actually had where you could do, like, so the ZV-1, for example, you know, it's like you can stream with whatever. Had a lady comment, it's like, how you streaming in USB, but this is in like 4K or whatever? I'm like, because I use Ecamm. I don't necessarily need to use whatever the software update is in this because I have Ecamm. I just hook it up through USB and it reads it. I can also connect my phone. So other things that are Mac specific, I can connect my phone, and I didn't have to show you the stuff from Instagram on there. I could just do that. NDI connectivity, integration and stuff like that. So I could connect my phone that's not connected and be wireless and do that. The other thing is like all this stuff, integrations as far as like the buy me a coffee, I can put that on there or I could take it down. If I wanted to show B-roll, I don't have any limits as far as the videos. This is another thing. So as I'm showing stuff, like when I did the stream showing different stuff, like I can bring in my own clips. So yeah, you can over there too, but it's to a certain megabits per second. So that's file size, and it's only to certain lengths. I could roll a whole video if I wanted to. And we did have that because when we talked about, let's go here. Pull all this stuff up. The Sony B-roll, when I went and did this, we showed video from iPhone though. I showed the whole thing. This is Farouk's whole YouTube video. I'm sorry, Farouk. I'll give you $5 for this because I said $10 the last time. So we're at the $15. This is his whole video because he did a fantastic job. So I put up here, courtesy of iPhone though. Actually, I can move this. Oh, I want to move it there. Let me lock that. And now I can move it. But you can see like I could resize that if I wanted to do whatever it is that I wanted to. You don't have those kind of integrations or controls with StreamYard. And so when I locked it, now I'm just adjusting the window. But this text up here, courtesy of iPhone though, I added that in natively so that I could have creative freedom to do whatever I wanted. Or when I showed B-roll of myself, I put the videos and all the things that I wanted to show. So if I wanted to show, this is the 16 millimeter f2.8 and was showing like how that looked versus the Sigma 16, I can show you what those looked like, or the Sony video. And I pulled that one from the courtesy of the internet by Sony. And I could show you when we were talking about the ZV-1, and that's the full video all the way to the end, if that's what I wanted to do. Right. So, a lot of integrations and stuff like that, just for a ton of stuff, even from the music to the end screens. And this is specifically my overlay for the live streams. I don't really use it anymore, but I have all of that stuff. I have Becky and Chris, and I could pull courtesy of Becky and Chris. So, it's a lot of different things. The framings is just customized for me and my brand. Oh, why am I showing my stuff? Did I show anything specific? No. Okay, good. Shoot, I forgot I was on my Amazon account, but it's a lot of customization. I'll put it that way. So it is a huge difference as far as your brand. If you just, again, want to stream, bring some people on, and you want to keep it browser based, if you're using like a Chromebook or whatever, cool. You go the StreamYard route and do that because it's browser based. You don't need any specs on your computer to do anything or whatever. You want to brand it, show specifically, like legit, be fully, like I said, customize your branding for your stuff, and also playing music. I got this over here in Ecamm, playing through Ecamm. I got a whole playlist. So when they talk about the Wheel of Wonder, freaking David, I do this all the time. So this is the music. This is a playlist, stream playlist. Actually, I want to move that and move this over here. All right. So the streams, it says sound effects. It could be sound effects. I could bring that music down, but I'm gonna bring it up just for 2.2 seconds because I have another one called the Wheel of Wonder. So when I do my game show, this is the music. And so when somebody wins and they spin properly, then we have sound effects for the applause. When they do what's called a bust and they lose, we play the so sad music because it is so sad. And so I can bring that up, bring this all around, do whatever it is I want, make it shorter, make it bigger. In regards to the branding and stuff like that, I have my own custom stuff, my brand, all of this. So I could change your comment and put YouTubers. Click save and adjust your comment. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of customization options when it comes to using Ecamm versus, I'll turn this off, when it comes to using Ecamm versus StreamYard. And they're doing a lot more trying to be, serve their audience or whatever, but it's a preference on what are you trying to build and what's best going to represent that. I'm be honest with you, from 2017, and then I decided I wanted to get serious about video. I invested in a Mac so I could use Ecamm Live and Final Cut Pro 10, and I've been Mac specific. And Joshua Ververs that was in the chat, Same thing. He tried all the different ones, vMix, whatever. He's like, man, this sucks. And he hate Mac. You one of them people, man, I can't stand Mac computers, blah, blah, blah. I said, you better get you one just for your streams then. And so be it. Because when it comes to the brand of what you're trying to build, he's like, there's nothing like it. That's the difference. Saying thank you so much. Appreciate it. You're most welcome. Said that I'm definitely older. Saying happy birthday. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Have you ever had any issues with your camera freezing while using the cam link? No. Oh, I take that back. Yes, because the computer that I was using did not meet the specification requirements of the cam link. And most people think, oh, it's just USB. I can plug it into any USB B port. No, you cannot. Cam link has specific specifications, and I can show you those really quickly. They have specific specifications that you need to use when it comes to connecting that to your computer, or if you're using a docking station. Some of those USB type A's, those regular USB slots, are not fast enough for the cam link. The cam link uses USB 3.0. Excuse me. Let's go to here, system requirements. So when we go over here, you must, if you're using a Windows machine or you're using, it needs to be the 64-bit. It needs to be 10.12 Sierra or later if you're using a Mac OS system. It needs to be a USB 3 port, not a USB 2.0. So some of y'all are plugging the cam links into a USB 2.0. That's not going to work. It will shut down, and you'll see that light that's white on there. It'll go and then it'll go away. CPU, fourth generation quad core. Some of y'all are doing dual core. So I eventually got it to work on my older computer, but I couldn't show the screens. If whatever I was going to have up, I needed to use like one internet tab, it was going to crush it. I couldn't bring in Skype or nothing. The computer is too weak to do anything with. So I definitely couldn't do a lot when using a cam link because it didn't meet the requirements. So if you're using a quad core system, i5, it'll say like i5-4, whatever, cool. But it said Windows 7 and Windows 8 are not supported on the cam link. So if your computer is too old, it ain't gonna work. So you do still have system requirements for the cam link, and also take into consideration, in addition to what else that you're using with your computer. So consider that if you're over processing what your computer can actually handle. You may meet the baseline requirements for all the stuff that you're using, but when you combined it, how hard are you pushing your computer, and can it keep up with what you're trying to do? That's the thing. And so like the other thing, like somebody asked about how great Ecamm Live was or whatever. I'm going to go here and said, I wish I had never touched a Nikon camera before in my life. I hate them. They suck. I'm switching to Sony. Freaking emoji symbol for the win with the heart. Wait. I can't even do where's the emoji stuff at. Oh gosh. Come on, work with me. Okay. I just had it. Daggone it. Screw you, computer. Because I can't get the emojis back up. All right. There we go. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I could have did this here. Just so you all know. I could have did that there. But whatever. But I'm still going to change this comment to say, I hate Nikon. I'm switching to Sony. And click save. And now we have a proper comment that actually makes sense. And this is what the beauty of Ecamm, okay? Just the things that you can do. You can fix people's comments. Amen? And saying, don't do StreamYard like that, please. It is what it is. I answer honestly. Okay? I answer honestly. It is a good option for some people. Because again, like I said, if you use Chromebook or whatever, it is what it is. Say thanks for answering my question. You're welcome. Alrighty. Saying thanks for opening up. My pleasure. Let's see here. Sam Sanders, hello everyone, late but here. Glad to you are here. Glad to be of assistance. So yes, let's see. Not sure if this is the place. Quick question, Ecamm question. Is there a correct sequence to shut Ecamm down? Do you log out first or stream and then live stream and then Ecamm and quick? No, like you don't have to do all of that. If I was going to shut down the stream, I'd hit finish. And then it stops the stream. And then I go up here and I quit. That's it. No proper sequence. If I wanted something to get rid of something, and I keep reusing the B-roll from the stream that I did with talking about the ZV-E10 or whatever, just for reference point currently, I just leave it in here. But otherwise, I would get rid of the folder, just my personal thing of like, okay, I don't need this footage no more. I'm getting rid of all of it, blah, blah, blah. But no, they don't have no proper sequence. You just want to make sure that you stop the stream, actively stop the active stream, and then I quit, just like any other application. So no, it's nothing like that. JFK Productions, good to see you. Hope you see I can fix this. Having a blessed, white chocolate day, because that is where blessings come from. Okay, and it's just like the beauty of Ecamm. I can fix these errors that are happening in the live stream so that y'all don't have to deal with seeing incorrect stuff in the chat. I can just fix this in Ecamm. So I may have to consider Ecamm. Go to diana.link/Ecamm. You just missed, I don't know if you've been a part of the community for a while, but you just missed the sale. I was talking about it all last month. You got 30% off, especially if you're a new customer, you could have got 30% off. I don't know. I'll try to see, especially since I'm partnering with Ecamm now for the Being a Creator series. Thankfully, blessed with that partnership. And they sponsor the channel for that series. Try to see if I can get a little bit more than the normal discount. We'll see. Saying thank you, happy birthday. My birthday is today. Oh, well, happy birthday. I would sing to you. I have a wonderful singing voice. I've been booked more than Aretha Franklin. All right, let's just call it what it is. Been booked more than the Queen of Soul, but it's not what I'm here for today. So I'll save you all the trouble. No, just kidding. So I hate all things Apple. Ecamm was the only reason I bought a MacBook Pro and then the M1 Mini. Oh, and Ted Lasso is pretty good. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. Said I have a Mac M1, love it. That's awesome. Saying the joke is it's my Sony that's giving me issues. Check your HDMI cable, check the port that you're putting it in, and make sure. So the thing with testing this stuff is making sure that you're good. Like sometimes it's the cable. So if you're seeing freezing on the camera, you need to figure out if something's wrong with your camera. I don't know where you got it from or whatever. If it's new, send it back. If it's used and you just got it, somebody got you maybe. Because when I had the Panasonic GX8, it was whatever kind of manufacturer's defect for whatever reason with that model. It was a very well-known thing, but I didn't know it until after I bought it. Sent it back, got another one. That one had the same defect. I said, I'm not playing this game. And then eventually I wound up switching or whatever. But beautiful camera, it just sucked. It had defect issues from the manufacturer. But see how old this camera is, where you got it from. If it's new and it's freezing in the camera, send it back and get something else. You may have one that may has a defect or something. If it's used and you got it off of somebody, you may want to see like, hey, if it's within that 30 days seller protection or whatever, like you can have this back because it got problems. So that's why I'm saying, like, when you go test the camera, if you're buying used, you can stream on your computer, take your computer and connect to your Wi-Fi on your phone. Everybody got tethering included, at least like up to 15 gigabytes or whatever. Test the live stream. Take your stuff, test your stuff. Go meet at you can meet at the police department. You can call them in advance and tell them that you want to test, or even I think Apple stores let you do that or whatever, and you can test in there. Connect to the Wi-Fi, test and see how stuff works, or whatever the case. They're going to do a lot of talking. Usually the sellers always will. Give me a second. Let me test what I need to test. Put it through its paces. Even if you buy used from a camera store, first 30 days, you need to do intensive testing. Usually what I'll do is I'll put a video up or play one of my 5-hour live streams or whatever on a phone or something pointed at the camera. So that way I actively have something playing when I buy used, because I buy a lot of used cameras. Everything's used except for, no, everything's used. Everything's used except for the ZV-E10 when that comes in, that's new. Everything else in here is used. I'll put the camera on my old phone and let that play like a 5-hour live stream, or just loop a playlist of mine or whatever. And so that way it's actively streaming, and it actively has something with constant motion going on. So I'll be able to see if it ever froze, and I'll go watch TV, go make dinner or whatever. So that way I can test, come back in an hour, scroll back through the video and see if it got stuck anywhere. And I'm like, okay, it streams fine. I'm not sitting in here for an hour, 2-3 hours testing that stuff. I'm gonna let the video do the work for me. So that's what I do when I'm testing stuff. I test my cameras extensively when they're new and even when they're used, to make sure everything works. Make sure the ports aren't loose, make sure everything works. I take a memory card, and especially if you're just buying a lens, you can go rent a camera body. You go to lensrentals.com, Diana 15, I think it is, to get 15% off. Take a picture and I'll turn it on. You don't have to know nothing about nothing. Put the camera in auto, the green auto, put a memory card in there, and I'll start flashing. Actually, you know what? Can't open the shutter since memory card. I need a memory card. Pause for the cause. Because I just want to show you this. If y'all are buying used, because some of y'all are new used cameras, whatever. All right. So let's say I'm testing out this lens. This lens is new. I forgot about that. I did buy this new. I'm testing it and I'm like, okay, just want to make sure. Does it work? Okay, cool. It works. That's the higher one. I'm gonna go through and you watch. That's what I'm saying. Like, set up a playlist, watch, get to know your camera. Even if you got to write it down. When I first started in video, I know nothing about nothing with cameras. I watched and created a playlist, and I took notes that said, go to this menu, then go here and look for this word, and then change that to that. That's what the video said, so that's what I'm writing down. So if I'm testing something, I'm just gonna test it, and I'll be like, okay, let me put this in video, and all I would do is just like test. Does it do what it's supposed to do? Yes or no? Hit the play button to rewatch that video. Is it playing back the video normally? Answer is yes, cool. Answer is no, we got a problem. Turn it on myself to make sure the autofocusing motors are working, and just be like, okay, it's a quick test, trying to see if the camera works or does what it's supposed to, because I should be seeing a box pop up either around the eye or the face for whatever. Test over. Play back the video clip. If it's not acquiring focus, is the focusing motors broke on the lens or something? It may not be if it's my camera, or if it's a camera that I'm renting and it came with a kit lens or something for me to test with or whatever, cool. I know it works in a camera. If I put the lens on, I'm like, autofocusing motors ain't doing right. Why is doing? I'm like, that's not normal. Shouldn't hear nothing. It's a stepper motor, STM. Shouldn't hear anything. It should just be acquiring focus. Do like this. Okay, away. Okay, let's take a look. Is it acquiring the eye and then going away? It's acquired in the face, then going away. All of that stuff. It's how you test your stuff. You just sit there and let it go. Like I say, put it in auto mode, photo mode, whatever. Put this mug in manual, put it in the higher frame rate, whatever thing to take pictures with. I should hear that. Now I got a whole bunch of photos to go through and delete, not one by one, it'll delete the group, but it should work. When I go back, I should see little micro adjustments of me moving frame by frame. It should work. So if you got it used, test it. If it's new, make sure the camera's not freezing. If you see a green lines or whatever, change your HDMI cable. If the cam link is going white and then the light goes off, wrong port. Something's not strong enough. You're doing a dual core and it's not a quad core, something like that. So you got to test all the lines and the things and the chains. Okay. Saying, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. What's a Nikon? This should be illegal. I'm glad that y'all are just saying, why do people hate Nikon? I actually don't hate Nikon. It's just a personal thing between now me and Miguel, because the last two live streams ago, he came in here talking stuff. So it's kind of like your favorite sports team. That's all it is. I actually really enjoy what Nikon is doing. I want them to do some things better and improve their autofocusing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I think after the ZFC, we probably should see like a really good camera come from them, other than that one. But I think they're fine. I like it. I really liked the Z6 when I tried it. but I don't personally prefer the menus. Obviously, you could get used to it, but I like Nikon. I like all the camera brands, to be honest with you. I like them for different reasons, but like my go-to or recommendations, like nah. But it's like your favorite sports thing kind of a deal. But Nikon's fine. Nikon's fine. And I used Nikon once. Hey, he out here in these streets saying seriously considering getting a Mac. But that's maybe 2 years out because the exchange rate debugging. You can find used, gently used. Sorry, I had to leave the stream. When I saw a StreamYard question, I was about to go. I told y'all asked Joshua Berbers about his experience with streaming, saying, dark chocolate, you heathen. Let me fix you. So that y'all could see. Let's see, white chocolate angel. There we go. That's better. Merry Christmas. Jiminy Cricket's Christmas. There you go. You're welcome. You're saying you always show up at the right time. Y'all be telling you dark chocolate lovers and Nikon shooters, and how do I know when I'm ready to stream in 4K? If your computer's capable of doing it, as long as you have like good lighting and good, your camera's clear, you clean the lens or whatever. Even if you're using the phone, you should be fine. As long as as long as your computer can handle it, you should be good to stream in 4K. It's not. Also, because with Ecamm, if you're using Ecamm, it'll record a file at the same time, so you have the isolated audio tracks. And so, for example, we're listening to music that's not on the Rodecaster Pro. This is in Ecamm. So if I'm going to do a tip, or if I'm going to repurpose a piece, and I'm like, I need to remove that music, I already have the isolated audio track, so I can remove it. But I now have a 4K video file that can survive the compression of social media and all the stuff. So I'm going to tell you why, also another reason why, if you're doing good 1080p, a good camera, it looks good, like your stuff, when you invest in 4K, you also need to invest in the better memory cards. You also need to invest in good cables that can handle transfer speeds. You're also looking at devices. Everything pretty much is able to do that stuff now. But I'm gonna tell you why what I'm saying, because some of y'all think sometimes like it is like a brand loyalty, or like, no, it's really not. It's from experience in using stuff, and there's some content that's good, looks like trash to repurpose. I'm pulling up my Instagram because I'll get on interviews and I'll do shows, and it'll be in a different service. I'll put it that way. That service would be at 720p. I think you all know who I'm talking about. And or if that person even just is streaming at a lower resolution and it looks like trash to repurpose. So this is when we were doing, it was on DocStream or whatever. And like you zoom in and you see like it's clear. DocStream's in 4K too, or it's 4K as well. So you're not getting confused because he's using Ecamm as well. Okay, he got his overlays and stuff like that. That's fine. But the other thing is also, like, I can repurpose that clip and still look normal. Let's scroll back to, quick insert here. Joshua Verwers used the Ecamm. So customization, side note here. Let me turn this music. Is that just loud for me? No, it's okay. Okay, Joshua Verwers added this when he gets a buy me a coffee thing.
And so that means the surprise.
Do it. What happens?
Because when Josh's wife brings in his coffee or a refill, Jared would always sing floating coffee hand, just like he did. So he snipped it, put it on the angel that floats to the top when he gets a super chat or when he gets a buy me a coffee thing. So that's funny. So it's gonna take forever to get to the bottom of this. They need to like start from the beginning, kind of a clip thing. But if I go to, it's one of these earlier ones where I was on a StreamYard stream. So like this one, on a StreamYard stream, and when I'm repurposing it, my camera stuff has not changed. It don't look terrible, but it also don't look as great. Unfortunately, the quality begins to suffer as we reshare this post or whatever the case is. Go down to one that was really frustrating because it was good content, but I just am frustrated with the way that it looks. And so I'm like, I don't want to reuse it. Golly, I got a lot of posts. Okay. Freaking A. Okay. It's got to be... Man, I apologize. It's too much. So I think we're getting there. But it's like if you go to one of these, here we go. Was on here. I was like, okay, couldn't handle the whatever. And it's like at some point, like he'll resize it or whatever. And like, you know how it'll switch and put you on screen or full screen or whatever. And on those clips, it looks awful. Like the 1080p from even like the Logitech webcam, I've done videos with that and y'all didn't know. So it's like, just like these other ones or whatever, you get to repurpose it or whatever, it looks terrible. If I'm starting with it looking like this with how you look, and then by the time it gets to the show, it looks like that, it's a problem. And this is not just that old from way back when. That's just a good example of it, but it's been recent. Be Live is also like that as well. Same thing. I was on the show with Owen. He get fuzzy. I get fuzzy. It's like we passing the fuzzball around, unfortunately. So it makes a difference. Saying last night at choir rehearsal, I used Ecamm to connect to the Blackmagic TV studio and web presenter. Ecamm showed the device as Blackmagic, but all the cameras were black in Ecamm. Don't know what to tell you. I mean, I have some of that stuff is things I would have to see, because do you have it selected to default to the camera or to a black screen in your settings in Ecamm? Also, making sure stuff is plugged in, because sometimes the smallest wiggle of something becoming unplugged, I've had this happen before, and it like you see that I'm going from camera to camera, still using like a Blackmagic switcher or whatever, from camera to this camera angle, it's camera 3, and it goes black, and I'm like, why? What? I'm looking at all the stuff. Cable just smidgenly ain't in properly. Pull it out, put it back in, fine. So I don't know all of the specifics with that to be able to say the what's what, because it's a lot of moving elements when you're talking about streaming and stuff, when you're using all these different tools and resources. So you really need to take into an account, what are you doing? What's happening and whatever. I don't know enough to go through anything of like to be able to tell you. David got his fix for the day. Thou hast made my day. See, again, we need to have a comment here to correct. No problem. Got you covered. You're good to go. Now, saying it's not freezing on the camera. It freezes when I'm using the zoom, and froze in the middle of a live too, but I'll double check the ports. Again, is it freezing when you're streaming and it's not on the camera? Or is it freezing on the camera and of course now on the screen? Like I would need to know the both. Like what happens when you're doing the zoom or whatever. Let's say you got a remote or whatever. If it's zooming in, is the camera still working? And that's showing fine, because on the Sonys you can record internally and live stream. I've never had that problem, to be honest with you. So I don't know. You post in the group, in our Let's Get Live group, and show an example of that maybe, and I can check back around with you. But yeah, it just depends. Things I don't buy without a return policy: cameras, laptop, music gear, because it's hell of a gamble. You just got to be there to see if it's going to work or not. I don't mind buying stuff used, and I don't mind buying stuff used from people. You just need to know and put stuff through the rigors. I've never had a bad experience buying a used camera from a person. I have had one from a camera store before, because it's used. But it's up to you, if you are buying it used, to put it through its paces. What's up, Digital Buddha? David Blackman in the house saying, where can I pick up a used ZVE 10? Nowhere. It's actually back ordered right now. So good luck. You check back in 30 days. You may see some. Might. Saying, what was the promo code for lens rentals? I think it's Diana15, Diana15 for lens rentals. Saying, you are the best. Why? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yep. Promo code Diana15. So it's like Diana.link/lens rentals for any mods in the chat. So if you have a Blackmagic TV Studio web presenter and want to use Ecamm, do you record using the companion tools like an SDI converter, NDI scan? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Now you're going past my limit of what I do with stuff. I don't use that kind of stuff. I don't even go to that extent with even trying to bother with it. So I'm gonna tell you and be honest with you, that's past my profession at that point, my professional use. So the thing is though, if I am having something where, let's say I am doing an event and we have access to these tools that you're listing, I want multiples. I want multiple backups. Like I have to know where, like again, okay, what's the stretch of it? Are the ports gonna move? And if we do, what's our default? What's our default and what's our backup? We may record internally in the thing. I'm hard pressed maybe not to record locally. Ecamm's gonna do that anyway if you want it to, but I'm not gonna have that go to the computer. I'm gonna have that file go to an external SSD at that point, so that that's not extra space and gigabytes that's holding up the computer. I'm gonna have that going to an SSD. So those files, if you're using something like Ecamm and you do want that recording, because that is another source and a backup that I'm using, then I have that. Usually for churches and stuff, y'all are streaming to either a social media site or you're going through another layer of something that may be recording that as well. So for example, YouTube in this case, for me, if I'm doing that, YouTube also has access to a downloadable file and recording. Well, maybe with some of the compression may not be as higher quality as what I would get with Ecamm, but it's another backup and another resource. And if all goes to hell, if you're doing something like a Zoom, then you may have all three. And so knowing me also, because I'm gonna use Sony cameras in my personal use case, it may not be, well, depending on what you're doing, it depends on what you're doing. I'm going to still record internally because it can, and it can handle it and do both. And so I've done that as well for paying gigs and all of that stuff, and it handled it fine. But I'm going to separate stuff. Everything ain't going to the computer. Everything ain't running off the whatever. And I want backups for my audio and I want backups for the video. With all the stuff that you use, again, I'm not well versed in that enough to give you more specifics on that. You're going to have to ask somebody, like I would say, reach out to Kevin Lyons, Lyons. That's in the Ecamm community group, as well as in our Let's Get Live group. Kevin Lyons, more or less, he probably has and does use some of what you're talking to specifically. I would create a post in our Facebook group and tag him and ask him specifically, and he can give you the specific details because he does specific conferencing, large conferencing and stuff like that. So I would absolutely recommend you reach out to him for the specific details on how he's able to do that successfully. And he does use his stuff with Ecamm. So I think that's the best resource for you for that question specifically. That's what I would say. Just ask Kevin Lyons for sure. So I like all the camera brands too. I like Canon for paper. Whew. It's hard out here in these streets. Saying different strokes for different folks. It said, Miss D, you mean as long as computer and her internet can handle it. It's true. He said, yes, I have all those companions. Okay, David, another good person to ask. Just be glad you didn't sing it right there, Diana. I was about ready to screen record. See, there's also, I can't trust y'all with this stuff. Jeez. So I'll go live this weekend to test. Okay, cool. And I love them both as far as the things. Okay, cool. So I'm glad y'all are connecting. It will help each other out. Fantastic. We have done enough when it comes to the streaming stuff today. We have covered quite a bit of things in regards to content, social, even some BTS stuff, a lot of different things. So if you are enjoying the stream, if you got value out of it, make sure you hit that like button. If you're watching on the replay and you made it all the way to the end, thanks for being here. I appreciate you as always. But guys, with that, live with passion. I will see you in the next one.